So typically whenever I do recordings, I do most of them depending on the subject, because some of this stuff gets into the area of public and private do not mix. So sometimes when there's a recording, if it gets into that kind of stuff, you don't want to put it in the public. The government will frown upon that. But some of the recordings I do put on my Rumble channel.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I just I see the rounds of knowledge over this last couple of years, and I'm just very humbled because I see this knowledge. It's going out and being used, and it's making non-believers into believers, and it's slowing people down to start asking the right questions to the right people instead of any question to anyone. And I think that's one of the most important things to learn as you grow. Your questions can be better, and you can aim your questions at someone who might be fruitful, as opposed to just, yelling into the wind at someone that you don't know or that is not qualified. Not to say that they're not here to bring information to you. Everybody has knowledge for you. But be smart. Take your time to articulate your question, and then ask it to someone who you may think could show a result. I yield.
All right, Tim, I just got done listening to your video. Oh, man, I'm going to boot this guy if you don't quit.
Oh, yeah?
All right, Brian, you're fixing to get the boot, bro. Pissing me off. How do I ban this dude? Yeah. I think I would have asked her, like, can you please define what the United States is for me? And she said, well, it's America. And I said, well, in the Constitution, it says that the United States is 10 miles squared. I wasn't born in the 10 miles squared.
I said the corporate government set it up for me.
Well,
you must not have heard me say that.
Well, I heard what you're saying, but you're missing my point. And what I'm trying to say here is that when she said that you were born in the United States is a fiction, and it only encompasses military jurisdiction. Okay, so it's the 10 miles squared. The United States is foreign to a nation state. Texas is its own country. Illinois is its own country. The United States is 10 miles squared, little parcel of land. It doesn't mean America, right? So either she didn't know what she was trying to, I don't know, it's like she was trying to circumvent. I loved it when she wouldn't answer the question. You were like, well, if I'm not the grantor and I'm not the beneficiary, what am I? She wouldn't answer the question.
You heard her say eventually you become the beneficiary. Well, if I'm not the beneficiary now, then who am I? Tell me who I am.
What am I in relation to this? So am I the authorized agent, or am I the trustee? Or are those two things the same? I'm just trying to understand here. And I would have asked her, okay, well, my buddy, I have a birth, so I have the certificate of live birth sitting in front of me, and my buddy came over the other day, and he had a certificate, and his said original on it, and at the bottom was this red number. And I went and looked up and found out what this red number is called. It's called a legacy filing number. Can you explain to me why he has a red number on his birth certificate and it says original and mine says certified
She was
copy?
the Social
There's
Security
no,
lady.
yeah, there's
So
no
she would,
number at the bottom of it. She would have been like, well, I don't know what that is.
yeah, she would have deferred that because she's like, well, this is Social Security. But you heard me. I'm like, so how do I get out of this? When did I agree? Why? I don't want to do this anymore. Let me out.
Right. And then the other question that you should have asked is the second line on the back of the Social Security card that says that if I find a card that's not mine, return
So
it to Social Security Administration.
also, I've asked them that, dude. I know what you're saying. I'm like, so you guys want me to give this back since it's not mine?
No, I would have read both of them, and then I would have asked her, "Does that make sense to you?" Because it says up here it doesn't belong to me, and it says if I find a card that doesn't belong to me, I'm supposed to return it. So,
Yeah.
am I supposed to return it? Am I supposed to keep it? What am I supposed to do with this card? Because I have a college level or college reading level, and
I don't even have that.
well, I do. Okay.
Joking.
And I
Hey,
would
hold on a
ask,
second, bro. I just changed the ignition coils of my car, my Audi. So I had to jump it because they haven't been running in a minute. So hold on a second.
all right, I got it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna give them the ringer. They're gonna have fun with me. Yeah, St. Louis, bro. Oh, I'm starving. Man, these people are relentless, dude. They just don't stop with trying to sell me something. They're even trying to call me to talk to me to try to sell me something, bro. I don't want. Mm.
All right, I'm back. I had to take my jumper cables off, move my other car, etc.
She did reveal something to you, though.
Yeah,
You
she did.
notice how she said that it all goes back to the county that you were born in and to the place
Oh
where
yeah.
it was recorded. She told you that that's where it all started and that's where you need to go back to.
Yeah, go back there, you dummy, and quit asking me questions.
So I'm going to ask him, so was the placenta the one? So do you record a live event or do you register a live event?
Yeah. Hey.
I'm
But
gonna
you
sit
did hear
down.
her say she is open to further conversation.
Yeah. I'm going to write down a list of questions and I'm going to ream them and I'm going to record it. I'm going to get their ass.
Call them. Don't be.
Oh,
What's the worst thing that can happen? Call it and record it. You want me
then
to send it?
she
Do you have
tried to
a
say that the immigration office must not have the right records or they don't have access to that. And I was like, so you're telling me another
only if
government?
you're nationalized?
Yeah, I was like, yeah. I would say, well, the last time I checked, in order to be a United States citizen, you must take an oath. And I don't ever remember taking an oath. So
Pledge
if I didn't
allegiance to
take,
the flag.
no, an oath
I'm
when you go
joking, dude. I'm joking. I'm trying to
no,
drive you crazy, bro. Can I just drive you
yeah,
crazy?
I know. Right. I know you did, right? But I've never taken an oath. So how can I possibly be a United States citizen if you haven't taken an oath? Yeah, you can't be. That's the whole point. Okay, foreigners that come over here, they get to get their whatever, they take an oath to the United States. Well, I've never taken an oath.
Constitution.
How can I be a United States citizen?
You're not.
You can't be. No, I'm not illegal. I'm a.
Well, you heard me. You heard me ask her, "Hey, can you prove that I'm a citizen? Can you prove that to me? You're telling me I'm something. Can you prove it to me?"
She's like, your birth certificate. I'm like, oh, my birth certificate. So does this birth certificate belong to me like the Social Security card belongs to me? Because it says on there I'm supposed to return it. So am I supposed to return this birth certificate the same way I'm supposed to return the Social Security card? Because I don't work well with double-mindedness. So if you could clarify for me, I would greatly appreciate it.
Hey,
Can I please speak to your supervisor?
oh, by the way, I am the supervisor. I'm a Fed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I wasn't mean to her or anything either, you know.
No.
And as you've seen, she lives up where my brother lives. You know?
She's just a gatekeeper, man.
And she was nice. She was a nice lady.
Can I please get that in writing?
She said she's going to send me an email.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out.
I hope I didn't get it and delete it by accident.
You just called up there and asked to schedule an appointment to speak to someone? Is that what you did?
Yeah. I printed off my Social Security statement. And then literally the next day, I got a letter from the office in the city I live in, because there's an office here. It's a, you know.
Are you
excuse my break.
Are you referring to
and
the
then,
public?
So I called the number on the letter. It's a 1-800 number and started asking questions. That's all. And then I got a phone call from somebody from the office. I even went inside the office too. But I got a call from somebody at the office, and then she called me. So she was, you know, because he didn't satisfy my answers. So I wanted to talk to his boss, and that was her. Or somebody that might know some more information than what you're telling me. You're telling me this is mine, or that it's not mine, but I have it. Why do I have this? Would you do something you don't agree to? How do I fix it? How do I stop this? Well, you can't. What do you mean I can't? I never agreed to it.
Well, if you were born
so
in the
that means
United
it's not
States,
even me. So that means it's not me. That's what I'm trying to get him to tell me. Well, it's not you then.
right?
You're saying it's me, but I have no control over it.
She didn't even want to tell you a trust. She didn't even want to say the word trust. And I would say, well, on the Social Security Administration website, it clearly says it's a trust, and it says who the trustees are. Okay.
Oh no, I played stupid.
And I would have said, well, there's 2 places on there where there's no trustees. Who are those? Who are those supposed to be? Is that what? Are those 2 places supposed to be me? Do I fit in there? Like how?
Well, I can't be. You know, you heard me. I told her, I'm like, well, I can't be this. I can't be this. You know, but if it's a trust, and you're telling me eventually I'll be the beneficiary. So am I a beneficiary then?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask, whose name is this on the Social Security card? It appears to be my name, but it's in all capital letters. And I remember from elementary when they taught us basic grammar that no proper noun is ever spelled in all capital letters. It's the first letter spelled in a capital letter, and the rest are all lower. So if it's not a proper name, then what is it making reference to? Because it can't possibly be my name, right? Because it's not spelled in proper English. So is it the name of the trust? And she'd have been like, And if it's the name of the trust, then I would have said, well, then who am I in relation to it? I'm not the grantor. And if it was created for me, it can't possibly be the trustee, because you can't be a beneficiary and a trustee at the same time. That collapses the trust, right?
Yeah.
So
who am I?
I'm not the grantor.
That's what I
kept saying. The only thing left to be is the beneficiary. So if I'm the beneficiary, then why am I paying into a trust when I'm supposed to be the beneficiary and it's supposed to be taken care of?
You heard me. I'm like, so I'm paying into this, but I didn't agree to it. Would you just pay into something you don't agree to?
Well, you did agree to it. It's called an
I didn't. My mom did it.
No. when you were 18 years old, you went down and got a driver's license and you started doing stuff in that
16.
name.
Yeah, whatever. Give it all back to Caesar then.
That's the
Give
number.
give your private plate back to Caesar.
I don't have a
I've
private
seen your plate.
My private plate don't belong to Caesar.
Yeah, it does.
No, it don't. I created it
Caesar.
myself.
Caesar made it.
Caesar creates his own things. I created my own plate. Okay.
You need to send me a pair.
Just gotta
Like I
make
said,
you
I've
one.
seen some around here. Next time I see one, I'm gonna chase them down and be like, I need to talk to you, man. What's up?
Yeah. Tell me how you got those private plates.
Yeah.
Well, if you get a trust, we'll get you one. When you
Hey,
decide
I'm just trying to
I
I'm
know
trying
you
to get
just
my brakes right now in my car that I haven't drove in a year and a half. Driving around a neighborhood.
driving around in the ghetto with private plates. They're gonna pull you over.
I don't have any I have plates on it, but they're expired. But yeah. Oh, they can go ahead and pull me over. I don't care. Like I said, I think I know enough to where I'll probably go to jail.
Yeah, you should just agree with our adversary, take the ticket, and pay it.
Yep. I'll just give me the ticket. See you later. Have a nice day. Then fight it within 72 hours.
Oh, there you go, license plates. Bam.
Oh, no. No, I'm not getting, I have license plates. It's just not registered.
I'm reading the thing that Floyd posted in the chat. I was just replying about that.
Yeah. Where's mine? Send them to me. Send me some Fearless Floyd ones. I'll advertise for you.
You have to have them made. You have to have your own plates made after you get your DOT number from the Department of Transportation. But you have to have a trust to do it. So until you get a trust, there's nothing I can do for you.
Yep.
You might as well make up your mind because it's all going to lead to the same place at the end of the day, back to the trust.
Uh-huh.
Well,
that's where it's supposed to. Right now, it doesn't. Well, it does. Just the one that they made.
Yeah, under their trust.
Yeah, their trust.
Yeah, which makes you the trustee because you're using their stuff.
So I just did 3 laps. Clean the brakes off. I don't know if I want to take it out on the road.
Yeah, I found out that I have a water leak. I guess I jumped a curb or something and hit something, and I bent my freaking radiator, and it's leaking water. I'm just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Well,
Just something else I gotta do.
Leaking coolant. Hopefully hopefully you didn't break anything. Maybe you just disconnected something.
No, it bent it. I looked underneath there, so I put some stop leaks. So hopefully that'll last long enough until I can get some money to replace my radiator.
Write a letter to Caesar and tell me you need a new radiator.
Write my trustees and tell them I need a car.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me you need a new radiator. She's purring though. This car's purring like a kitten. I changed all the ignition coils on it. Good old German engineering.
Yep. So I got my 3 EINs done. I got 4 today. I got all 3 of my.
Think you got enough?
And I got my DBA done today.
You still got enough? I think you need to do some more shit.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine how many people message me asking me to do stuff for them. So, no, it's okay.
No, I need to go. I need to take a trip up to Michigan. Is what I need to do.
I've got more shit than I know what to do with. I can barely keep up.
My sister lives right by the Capitol, so
you just send it to her and we'll have her do it.
Come on, she works for the state.
Well, all she's going to do is go in there and get it authenticated. I mean, it's not doing anything illegal.
You know what? I should ask her if she can get that for me, but she probably won't be able to. Yeah, but I can do that here, right? I can just go to Springfield.
No.
Or I can get it authenticated here.
Making stupid ass comments when I post something.
Who, me?
No, I'm talking about on my Facebook. You know.
Why are you on Facebook?
because I get bored.
Go get a job.
No, I don't need a job, bro. I don't need to be just over broke. I can be just over broke without a job.
Go get a job so you don't have to be broke anymore.
I'm good. People sent me money today.
Do you want me to send you some medicine? If I send you some medicine, will you make me a trust? I'll send you some medicine. Because that medicine's already been paid for with those FRNs, you know.
I'm
Can't
pretty
get
sure
more medicine unless I get the FRNs back.
my PO box would pretty much appreciate you. It's stinking like weed. No, I don't need you to send
No,
me
I
money.
would seal it, Goofy. What's wrong with
Yeah.
you? No, you tell me where to send it, and I'll send it somewhere. Send that in private. I'm not joking.
No, I know you're not.
I got you.
I would rather you send me money than send me weed. I need money.
Nah, I don't have it yet. Would you want to buy some then?
No, I don't. But that orange cookie stuff sounds pretty good.
The other stuff's better. The landslide's better.
As long as it's not sleepy time. I don't like sleepy time stuff.
That's the best.
Yeah, I don't have no
I don't
problem.
know. It's a most of it's a majority sleepy time now. All right, I'm gonna take it out on the road. See what happens. Try not to get pulled over. I'm just worried because I jumped it once and then I was filling up the tires with air. Then it died on me when I was doing that. So I had to jump it again. Need to charge the battery.
Sometimes, and I hate to say this, but sometimes I wish something would happen when all these people get on my shit and start trying to act like I'm conspiracy theorist or whatever.
You're not?
I wish something would happen so that they would be bitch slapped upside their head, and then they can message me and be like, "I'm sorry, man, you were right." I don't really want that to happen, but you know what I mean? It's just like, why even bother telling people anything?
Well, did you get enough money to do what you need to do?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, we talked about it last night. Just checking.
I'm good for it at the moment, but we'll talk some more about it. God always looks out for me, man. I never have to go without. That's one thing I can say. At the end of the day, I don't even stress out about it.
Caesar likes me. I have a lot of Caesar's credit cards. So I can always use a Caesar card if I need to. I'm not joking, dude. I got like 10 of them or 12 of them. It's stupid. Like 40 grand, 30 grand limit total. I don't ever use them. I mean, I'll use them, but then I pay them off. So
that's what you're supposed to do.
But Bank of America closed me because I wasn't using their card. So I W4 sandwiched them. I sent out like 10. I haven't seen anything yet. But
yeah, I've sent out about 9 or 10 probably about a month and a half ago. I think they said it takes like 90 days. I'm waiting for the frivolous filing letter to come in.
Where? To your P.O. box?
Yeah, to wherever you're going to send it to. I sent a letter to the IRS commissioner because under subsection 93 something, I don't remember what it was, it said that in order for you to go back and to do any type of audit on anything that has already been established, you must get permission from the commissioner. So I wrote him a little letter and basically told him that I didn't ask for permission. I told him that, basically sent him a link to his 3 oaths and told him that he was obligated and duty bound under his oath to do his job. So he's probably not very happy with me, but I don't really give a shit. It was pretty funny.
Not when you're a dick. Jesse.
You know
People
what?
don't
These
think
people
that.
work for me. I don't give a shit what they think. I'm not here to be friends with them. They're not my friend.
Hmm.
I don't need to be nice to somebody that's not my friend. I mean, especially when they're supposed to be working for me. You're supposed to be doing a job, and I'm telling you to get on your job, get to work. You know?
You keep telling me to get to work. So,
Yeah, but you're working for yourself. I'm only trying to motivate you to get off your ass to do something for yourself. I'm talking about people that, I pay taxes or whatever. They're supposed to be, they have an oath to do their job. They need to get on it.
nah, I ain't paying those anymore. Fuck that shit.
Let's see,
No more taxes for me.
where is my notice to the IRS commissioner? Let me find this thing. No, I'll let you read it and you're going to laugh your ass off. It's somewhere around here. Got a million things open here.
You should have signed it in all capital letters. Incorporate that shit.
Yeah, let me speak in their language.
Yeah. Am I speaking your language?
Where did I send it to?
Hmm. All right.
Where is it at? It's somewhere in here. There's the notice for the REMIC.
Yeah, like I say, that's one thing I did right is I have never had a mortgage, even though I have car payments. Yes, car payments, 2 cars.
Yeah, but that's not a death pledge.
No. Well, one of them is. Shit, it's more than I bought any of my houses for. It's like $54,000 somewhere out there. Stupid.
Where is this stupid notice to the IRS commissioner at? Where is it hiding? I don't remember where I put it at.
Tell you what, my son's going to be really happy because I'm going to drive him to school on Friday in my Audi. He's going to be happy about that.
Right. You should have asked that lady, well, before I turned 18 years old, what was my relation to the Social Security Trust? Was I a
Well, I asked her
beneficiary?
why kids. No, the answer she said about why infants need it is because for tax reasons. And then I said, oh, so it's for retirement and it's a trust and it's also for tax purposes. So it wears multiple hats. Yeah, I know you like to yell at me all the time, but I'm not that naive. I just not as educated yet. I'll get there.
No, you're not
Only a
naive.
couple months in, man.
It's all good. You'll figure it out.
I just lucky I met people that are way ahead of me and have some semblance of patience.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't be me. That patience part doesn't suit well. I don't have a lot of patience.
You're not that bad. If you're that bad, I wouldn't be in here. I told you already. I wouldn't be here.
Where is this stupid?
I don't think you're ever intending on being like that to anybody either.
No, I'm passionate about what I do. Right? I mean, it's not really me being angry. It's just me trying to really drive home a point. Well, I can't find this thing anywhere. I don't know where it's at. But I know I wrote it. And as soon as I find it, I'll send it to you.
Hey, Jesse.
What's up?
Are you too angry for a question?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. So I'm looking for the 1911 Rules of Civil Procedure for the Supreme Court.
All right.
And the reason I'm looking for it is because it has a sample prayer of relief in equity.
Oh, nice.
I've heard Hamilton make reference to it, but I didn't know if that was posted. I couldn't find it anywhere being posted.
Man, I've never seen it. This is the first time I've heard of it. What I'd do is I'd send Yoda a tell and ask him about it. I mean, if he's been making reference to it, then that would mean he knows where to get it. Oh, there it is. Letter to the commissioner. Found it. So I'll read this to y'all, and you're going to laugh your ass off. Is it 2 pages? What's going on here? Why? Let me open it up with this. I don't think this is the final one. This is when I was doing W4s, and I was really, just before I quit doing W4s. So I put, Dear Commissioner of the IRS, notice to agent is notice to principal is notice to agent. Until recently, I was unaware that there were affairs being managed on my behalf without my knowledge or consent that have been left improperly tended. Now that it has come to my attention that 1, matters are not being handled equitably, 2, matters are not being handled efficiently, 3, in many respects, matters are not being taken care of at all, 4, usurpation of funds is occurring, 5, there is rampant fraud and deceit, 6, position of trustee has been left vacant or improperly attenuated. This notice and documents include for your record in the interest of clean hands and good faith. The form, because I appointed him fiduciary, I said the Form 56 has been provided to allow you to assist the Jesse Wayne Henley Jr. estate, and then I put my numbers, UCC1 New York filing, because I have a New York UCC filing, my EIN number to my trust. My security agreement is in place, see UCC1 to prevent any potential frivolous filings for said balancing of the national debt, both publicly and privately, in accordance with the 14th Amendment and the United States statutes at large. Section 4 of the 14th Amendment states at its outset that the validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law, including debts incurred for payment of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned. On these merits, I stand, Jesse Wayne Henley Jr., copyright, authorized rep, beneficiary, heir, shall, will, and be granted by the Commissioner of the IRS any and all valuable consideration for all accounting filings, inquiries, for the purpose of retroactively changing, amending, assessing, settling, discharging any and all recoupments for all past and or present billable hours, taxable events, and or any erroneous accounting that may have occurred as a result of unjust enrichment from any third-party usufruct against or upon the estate of my Social Security number, principal, full faith and credit. Looks like this one is not complete, and so I put my full faith credit clause in there, which is on the bottom left-hand side of the authenticated birth certificate. Where's it at? So I put the full faith in principal credit issued pursuant to whatever it says on there, blah, 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 blah. And then I put trespassing on the United States property is considered trust de son tort upon the public charitable trust, thereby committing piracy, treason against the security interest of the principal beneficiary stakeholders, we the people. I am a non-combatant, non-adverse, non-belligerent, non-deceited, an American by birth, domiciled on the land of his forefathers, secured in his person. I am the living beneficiary heir expressing vitally important accounting matters to be immediately resolved equitably in good faith without prejudice or recourse in an expedient manner as to rectify any unknown past transgressions for the purpose of preventing future trespasses by way of tort. As the principal creditor, beneficiary, equitable heir, shareholder, my duty is to report to the public charitable trustee any and all accounting to the best of my knowledge, be it past or future presentments and or debt obligations for offset and discharge pursuant to Public Law 73-10. So this is not the whole letter. Apparently this is just part of it. I don't remember what I did with the rest of it. I think this was just my rough draft. And I don't know what I did with the original. Maybe it's this one. Is this the right one? No.
Sounds like you wrote the Constitution.
Yeah, man, I pretty much was going at it in here. I put on the original, on the one that I sent him, I put links to his 3 oaths, because everyone who's that works for the government has to take 3 oaths. So I listed where his oaths were listed at, and told him that I was basically holding him accountable to his oaths, and if he didn't do his job, that he was going to be committing insurrection and rebellion against the 14th Amendment. I'm pretty sure when he got this letter, he was like, what the fuck? Who wrote this shit? I was having fun with it. I want to find the original, and I don't know what I did with it. So I haven't heard anything back from him. So I'm hoping that he actually will read my letter and go in and tell whoever he assigns to me to do whatever I ask them to do. I highly doubt that, but you know, can't hurt to try, right? Okay, it's not in there. I've got so much stuff on here, I don't remember where I put everything. I try to organize it the best that I can, but you know how that goes. It should be in here. Alright, it's not in there. Where is this at, man? This is perturbing me. I don't remember where I put this thing. Alright, not in there. Maybe it's in the W4 stuff. That's where it's at. Notices. Oh, there it is. Notice to the Commissioner of the IRS. Bam, I found it. Alright, I'm gonna... Who wants to see this? I'll send it to you, but I don't want to post it in the chat.
Send them my way. Cite your authority.
Alright, give me just 1 second. Read it and then tell me what you think about it.
I want to read it, Jesse. Teresa.
Alright. Here, I'll just post it in the chat. That way I don't have to individually send it to you guys. I don't care what anybody thinks. Getting hungry here. Man, alright, let's put it in here. Fine, whatever. Alright, there it is. Alright, it's got all my personal information in it, does it not? Let me see, does it? Oh, I took it all out of this one. Okay. This must be the one that I edited. Oh, and his oaths to office are 5 USC 7311, 5 USC 331, and 5 USC 332. I'm pretty sure he was like, oh shit. Now imagine if I would have actually got a certified copy of his oaths, and then I had them authenticated and I sent them along with this notice. Oh, he'd have been shitting a brick. almost looks like I knew what I was doing when I wrote this. Kind of surprised myself, to be honest with you.
Can I ask an estate question? If anybody knows, I know you don't have to know. Um, so I have a married last name, but I'm divorced, and he, so I don't know, and I've not changed my name because I have a daughter all these years. But is there? I don't know what my estate is. Is it my maiden name on the birth record, or is it the one I've used with since I was a kid?
Well, your first estate name was the one on your Social Security card. When you got married, you joined his estate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really both,
That's why
right?
it's super confusing. I don't even know, like it's made me stuck all these months.
And if you do a name change, if you go back and you do your name change, then make sure you do the name change where you get the minor disabilities removed,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that you actually do it correctly so that you can go down and take your exemplified copy and go get your legacy filing number.
Would that be my maiden name?
Yeah, you're going to change it
Oh,
back. Well,
I would do that. I thought about it for a second. I'm like, but I guess I was confused because all my securities are in my current name.
you're under your ex-husband's estate. So right now you're operating under his, and anything that you do in that name is helping him create securities for his estate.
Oh, even after a divorce, huh?
Well, those securities don't go away. Like if you really wanted to be angry at your husband,
Oh no,
ex-husband,
he
you could go
died.
down and get he's passed away.
Yeah, he passed away, and this is the other complex. I thought this is so complex.
Well, you have a right to claim his securities. You have a claim.
Oh, well,
And
I'm not.
if he's passed away, then you no longer should be using his name. You should be going back to your maiden name.
And I'm fine to do that. My daughter's grown now, but it was just because, well, as a young mother, I wasn't gonna keep a separate name. But
Right. That's what my sister said too. And I said, no, Kim, you need to go back to your maiden name. I mean, your daughter's
yeah.
name will always be because that's her father, but that doesn't mean that you have to carry the name anymore. Why would you? Go back to your maiden name.
Okay. Cool. I mean, so and that's the other thing about my living estate trust. I don't know which name it should be in.
It would be in your maiden name.
Okay. I'm cool with that. But honestly, I want to change it because I'm tired of it.
Right.
I haven't used that name in so long,
I mean, at the end of the day, whatever name is on your Social Security card is really the estate.
Well, it's my current name.
Well then, yeah, you're going to have to go back and have that change. You'll have to do a name change. But this time when you do a name change, you're going in there to set the record straight and to remove the minor disabilities so that you can become the age of majority.
Okay. Okay, cool. I appreciate you knowing this because it sounds like it should be a simple answer, but nobody I've asked knows.
Right. Well, I tried to answer it to the best of my ability. I hope that helped.
It did, because I mean that's what's on all my birth records, really.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. So did anybody read this or what? What you think?
Did you send anything with it? You're just ordering like a set.
No, I was making reference to the notice to the IRS commissioner. I posted it in the chat.
I'll finish this yet.
So just remember, that if you want the IRS to do a W-4 sandwich for you, you have to ask the IRS commissioner. It says that you have to ask for permission, but I don't ask for permission from elected officials that are under oath. Okay, the oath to their office is their requirement. So you don't ever have to ask for permission. You just have to know how to hold them to their oath. Like if you were going to go into a courtroom and you appointed the judge fiduciary, and he would say something to the extent, well, I never signed that, and you would be hold up. In the other hand, you would hold up his authenticated oath of office, and you would say, well, Your Honor, I don't need your permission, and I don't need your signature. Right here is your oath of office. You've already agreed to it. So if you ask somebody for permission, they have the right to decline you. So why would you ask for permission from somebody who's already under oath and they're obligated to do what you ask them to do in the first place? That makes no sense. It's just like going down and getting a license to do something that you already have a right to do. Why in the world do I need a license to do something that God has ordained me to do? That's double-mindedness, right? It's kind of an asinine concept. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ask for permission. Children ask for permission, and I'm not a child. And notice there's nowhere on my document does it say that I'm the trustee. No. I'm not the trustee. So I made up this full faith and credit principle thing too here. I kind of just improvised on that part. Where'd you get that? All right, Lisa. I'll watch the last 15 minutes. Let's see, forward this to the chat. Here, let's fully show. Watch the last 15 minutes. Yeah, so if you do if you're going to do W-4s, I would recommend sending you a letter to the IRS commissioner. You know, don't send exactly like mine, but basically make your own and hold him to his oath and tell him that he's got a job to do.
So, did you send this yet? Your letter?
Yeah, I posted it in the chat room.
Oh yeah, I read it. I just didn't know if it was gone. I couldn't catch up. I missed you when you said that.
Oh, look, Mr.
Yeah, it's
Constable. Did you know that constables have nothing to do with American common law? They're English?
oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either until somebody told me that. So, I mean, think about it. Why do we have constables? If they're not part of American common law and we're not under English common law, why in the world do we have constables?
I guess I thought we were. We are not under English at all?
No,
Oh,
no.
good. For
You know,
some
I don't
reason, I
live in
was.
you live in a commonwealth? I don't live in a commonwealth state.
No, I don't.
I live in the, oh, there's another cop right there. They're out today. Let's see if they want to pull me over. That always is fun. Here lately, they've been leaving me alone. They see my private plates and they just keep on going. I'm like, cool with me. Y'all leave me alone. I got nothing for you.
How do you get the car driving right? Like, I still have my plates. I'm coming up on my registration in November, and I don't want to do it.
Okay, well, give me just a minute because I'm going to run in the store and grab me
Oh, yeah.
something. Then I'll help. I'll talk to you about it. All right. So I'm going to AFK just a second. So don't leave. All right.
I won't.
Give it back to Caesar, man. AFK a sec.
You're back.
All right. So, do you have a trust?
I have a trust that I haven't used because I didn't know. I do have it. It's my first, last, middle, and it says trust.
Okay. Is it a living trust or what kind of trust is it?
No, but it is irrevocable. Somebody made it for me before I knew anything.
So, is it a secure party creditor trust?
I believe it is, yes.
Oh, okay. Did you file any of the paperwork in regards to it?
He did, but I heard someone saying that if you file it right, you get a letter back, and I never got any letters. But
I
they
don't know
said,
about all that. I never got no letter back.
oh, okay.
So, but you filed your UCC one. You sent off, so you followed all. He did everything, right? You have a hold harmless indemnity agreements. You have what else goes with it? There's a
Yes,
security agreement,
security.
full harmless indemnity agreement,
Yep.
and there's a few other things. So you got all that on the record
Yeah. He put it in the UCC in my state.
in your state, okay?
But
So,
it has something called legal notice and demand on it.
oh yeah, absolutely. So does mine.
Okay.
All right. So what you got to do is you need to get a USDOT number.
He gave me that too.
You got what?
I've got that. I have his
well
plate.
then what you doing? All you
I
got to
don't
do
know.
is,
Yeah.
if you got a USDOT number, then why don't you have some plates made?
Oh, I have them made. I have them
Okay,
made.
is your car paid off?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you need to put it in the trust.
Okay. I just go print that out.
There's a video. What state you live in?
Florida.
Okay, now I don't know. It's different in every state, right? But if you'll
Okay.
go on to Floyd's videos on his YouTube channel, he's got a video on there how he transferred his into the trust, right?
Okay.
And they sent back the title, and the title was gold. And where it says mileage on it, it says exempt. So once you put it in the trust and you put it in your Schedule A, now the trust owns it, right? And you put on
Yep.
your private plates and you're good to go.
Oh.
Now, I mean, you need to know how to handle yourself in regards to when you get pulled over, right? So you're going to need the proper paperwork, and you're going to need to know what to say to them. Because if not, then you know, they're just going to get you wrapped up, and then you're going to be right back in the same mess. Hang on just a sec. When it gets out of there, we're not putting that in the microwave for me.
What's that noise?
Whatever you're.
Goodness, I'm hungry. All right, so I would watch the video, right? Let me see if I can find it for you real fast, and I'll send it to you, okay?
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Now, like I said, the procedure might be a little bit different in Florida than it is here in Texas, but I would imagine relatively the principle remains the same. All right, because principles are few and methods are many. Oh, why does he keep doing that? Quit
Right.
doing Gmail. Oh, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go to YouTube. Oh my goodness, I'm starving. What the hell? Update, let me in. Password. Nope, that's not it. It's that one. Nope. What is the password? Urgh. I only have 3 passwords. passwords, man. It's got to be one of them, damn it. Which one is it? There it is. Okay. Fearless Floyd Show. Go to his Floyd channel. His videos. And let's see, where's it at here? He has so many videos. Here's your USDOT. We want to transfer the title into the trust. Where art thou? It's a car, traffic ticket dismissed. Where's my car? Fearless Floyd is the state of Texas. That just cracks me up every time I see that. Get rated. Where is it? Stick private plate call. Okay, where is this video at, Floyd? Color of law. What is a warrant? Where is this stupid video? Alright, thanks, Mom. Appreciate you. Where is this video? To make clean. I know it's here. I gave the link to someone the other day. I seem to be having a hard time finding anything today for whatever reason. Alright, it's got to be further down here. Where is the video at?
Move. Bam. You've got everything you need.
Alright, State of Texas private call. That's not it. Title 4. There it is. Bam, found it. Alright. I'm going to post this in the chat, okay?
Sure, thank
Still
you.
there? Alright. So, I'd watch this video. It's not real long. He basically gives you a rundown of what it takes in order to transfer the title into the trust. And then once you do that, so you have to remain in private. You don't have a driver's license, right?
Oh, I do. That's the other part of the equation. I'm like, I haven't done these. That's why I'm like concerned about driving. Like, what do I do? So I know to surrender it. I have a form, right?
Yeah.
Or
Floyd did something similar here in Texas too, and I surrendered mine, and he notarized it.
mm-hmm.
So you might want to I think there's a video on that too. You'll have to scroll through there to find it.
Okay.
But yeah, you want to surrender your driver's license because you don't want to be under contract, right? That's the whole
No.
secret to it. Is that there's no contract to enforce, and you don't verbally enter into a contract, then they have no jurisdiction.
Okay.
So surrender your driver's license, put your car in the trust, right? And then you're going to carry around your legal notice and demand with you. You're going to carry around your questionnaire with you, and then you carry around your paperwork with your DOT information.
Oh.
All right. So if they pull you over, do not give them a state ID and do not give them your driver's license. Okay. You say, before I can answer any of your questions, I need you to fill this out for me.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably not going to fill it out. And if they keep harassing you, just say, okay, well, let me give you this too. Then you give them your DOT information along with your legal notice and demand. And you tell them that your schedule fee is in there, and that after 20 minutes, you start charging whatever the fee is on your schedule fee, and ask for his name and his badge number. And if you can, I would get a camera in your car so that you're always recording.
Mm.
That way you have your own record, because at the end of the day, they record. But if you ever notice, they're like, oh, well, we lost a recording, or they just don't want to give it up, So it's good to be able to have your own method of making your own record. And you make sure that when you do record, that it sends to an offline location that can't be, they can't rip it out of the car or take your video, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe upload it to your cloud. Something like that.
Oh.
And I would also make sure that you send notice to everybody.
Right.
Now, I printed up, what I did was I printed up 60 legal notices and demands, and I bound them all, right? And then I sent a copy of my DOT number and the questionnaire and the legal notice and demand, and I sent it to everybody. Like every county that I drive in, every little municipality, I send it to the Secretary of State. I send it to everybody and their mama. But I mean, I have a federal postal account, so it didn't really cost me anything, right? It's free.
Oh.
It may cost you a lot of money to do that, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's better than getting that ticket and having to go to jail and deal with all that nonsense. And a couple rules of thumb. When you're out on the road,
Mm-hmm.
you can never use the word drive. You are just passing through. You're a sojourn on a temporary abode, just passing through. You remember that?
Yeah, it's in my paperwork.
Yeah. I'm just a sojourner on a temporary abode, passing through.
Mine says religious sojourn.
Well, there you go. I mean, however you want to cite it, right?
Yeah.
And mine just says, I just say spiritual sojourn, but it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And never use the word drive. Okay. And remember that there are 5 different types of contracts. There's implied, there's written express, and then there's oral. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're always trying to get you into one of those 4 types of contracts. So when they're just talking to you, they're trying to get you in an oral contract. When they ask you for an ID, they're trying to get you in a written contract. An implied contract is based upon your behavior, right? So it's written, oral, implied, and expressed. An express contract, I think it's implied or expressed. Express is by your behavior, and implied is by you using something that, either doesn't belong to you or something that puts you in their jurisdiction. So remember those things, that at all times, the road pirates are trying to get you to contract with them. So usually what I do is I just say, I'm under trust and I can't answer any questions until you fill out this questionnaire, and I unequivocally invoke my right to remain silent.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like that one. They don't like it when you unequivocally invoke your right to remain silent, because they can't ask you any more questions after that by law. And make sure you give notice, right? Notice. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. It's very important. And you keep a record of that so that you can prove that you've put them on notice if it comes down to it and you have to take them to task. Because they're going to deny that you ever sent them anything, right? I mean, that's just what they do. They're always in denial, and they're always making accusations and presumptions. So you have to be able to cover all your P's and Q's so that you can rebut anything that they say or that they do.
Okay.
And you got to make sure that you're brave. Oh, one more thing. Never pull over on the side of the road. okay? Because you're impeding traffic, and they can tow your car or your automobile, which is the correct term, automobile, right? They can
Yeah.
tow your automobile. So always put on your hazards, okay? And make sure you don't pull over on the side of the road. Pull over in a public place. And if they say, well, why didn't you pull over when I put on the lights? And you say, well, I didn't feel like it was safe for you or me, and I didn't want to impede traffic, right? And never say that he pulled you over. You always say that I pulled myself over to see if you needed my help. I saw you put on the lights, thought you might need my help, so I pulled myself over, right? Because if he says I pulled you over and you don't rebut that or counter that, then guess what you are? You're saying that you're under his authority. So you're
Right.
never doing anything under his authority, because he has no authority unless you give it to him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know you're probably not going to remember all that, but I'm just giving you basically a crash course.
Yeah, no, I was listening. You pull into a public parking lot.
Yep, absolutely. That way you have witnesses and you have a camera, and he can't tow your vehicle without the permission of the owner. And the owner can't tow your private property without compensating you, because it's private property. You're not impeding anything. You're not taking up any space. You're not stopping him from being able to do his commercial business. You're just on a temporary abode, and you'll be out of here as soon as the road pirate decides to let you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they are. They're just road pirates.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want out of that driver's license. I mean, I just didn't know the steps completely but I have most of it, I guess.
You got the bulk of it done if you already have a trust done. That's pretty impressive.
It's just not a living trust, it's and I didn't know this whole irrevocable thing means you can't, when it's irrevocable, I can't take the car back out unless I sell it, right? I don't understand. That's
No.
another thing. Okay.
An irrevocable and a revocable trust. An irrevocable means it cannot be changed. But as long as the grantor is alive, you can change it.
Oh. Okay.
Now, once the grantor dies, or passes would be the better word, you can change. You can't change it. But as long as you're alive, you can make addendums to it if you want to. I mean, who's going to know, right? It's your trust. It's private. Who's going to tell you otherwise that you can't change it? I don't like what it says on that page, so let me redo page 7, okay? Let me type it up and boom.
I
let me throw
know.
it in. Right. I mean, so who's to tell you what you can do or can't do with your private stuff?
No one.
And it's not like you file that stuff on the record. You only file pertinent stuff to the trust that you want the public to see. Your hold harmless indemnity agreement, your security agreement, and stuff like that. They're not going to see the corpus of your trust.
Right.
And anybody that ever asks for that, you tell them that's private. It's none of your damn business. It's my business, and you don't have any place in it, so stay out of it. I hate it when people ask questions that they're not supposed to be asking. I'm like, no, I'm not. It's none of your business. I'm not telling you that stuff. Well, we can't. Well, what do you mean you can't? Show me where it's required that I show you the body of my trust or my Schedule A property. This is private,
People are trained to be very, open into the, just tell everybody everything. Bad.
Yep, they sure are. My motto is you're on a need-to-know basis, especially if you're a government employee. Because anything you say or do can be used against you in a court of law. So why in the hell would I want to tell you anything? It's like when I got pulled over, and I unequivocally invoked my right to remain silent. And he goes, well, you have the right to remain silent, but however, the Supreme Court has ruled that when you're under arrest, you must give 2 out of the 3 identifying elements. And I said, well, first off, that would defeat the purpose of invoking my right to remain silent. And second of all, I'm not under arrest, I'm being detained. And he just went, he kind of shrugged his shoulders. I said, I'd like to speak to your supervisor now, please. I need to speak to a competent officer because apparently you're not competent. They must hate me because I'm such a smart ass. It's no wonder they want to drag me out of the car and beat me to death.
They try.
Oh, yeah. Slammed my head in the car, busted my knee up when I was in Jasper, Texas for not giving him a last name. I told him that I couldn't give him something that didn't belong to me as that would be a dishonor. And that made him mad.
Ooh.
I gave him my first name and my middle name, right? Or my Christian given name, but I refused to give up the last name because they can't do anything without the last name. And then the cop, I was already in handcuffs. He took me to the car, slammed my head in the car, busted my knee up, threw me in the back, put the seatbelt on me. And then they were running around for 5 minutes trying to ask my buddy questions. And he finally gave him my last name. They ran my last name, and what was funny was while I was in the back seat, I could hear him talking on the radio. I could hear everything that they were calling in, and when the lady called back, she was like, "He's clear."
Man,
She's
you got
like, "Would you
super
like for
hearing.
Yeah,
You got
she was
super
like,
hearing.
the lady was like, "Would you like for us to run a statewide?" And he's like, "No." Well, as soon as they got done talking, the sergeant ran to one. I mean, when I say ran, I mean they ran. Ran to one side of the car, and the other cop ran to the other side, opened the door up, unbuckled me, got me out of the car, took the handcuffs off, and was like, "You're free to go." I was like, "Well, I want to press charges against him for assaulting me." And they were like, "Well, we'll have to go down to the station for that." I was like, "Oh, so you guys can pretend to do your job and assault me, but when it's time to do your job, because there's actually been an assault, I have to go down to the station to file charges." I was like, "The guy who assaulted me is right there. Arrest him." And they were like, "Well," I don't remember what they said. They were being real assholes. And I was like, "Well, am I free to go?" And the guy was like, "Well, you're the boss." And I was like, "Well, if I'm the boss, fuck y'all. I'm out of here." And I looked at the guy and I told him, I said, "I'm going to get your ass." And then I got in the car and we left. I was not happy about it. It took me about 3 weeks to be able to walk right again. And then I tried to call the sheriff. He wouldn't talk to me. So I won't be going back to Jasper, Texas. And if I do, I'm going to send him a notice beforehand and let him know that the last time I was there, I was assaulted. And that if it happens this time, they've been put on notice that they're going to be sued. And I have a schedule fee. And I'm going to charge them $300 million. Get the county of Jasper in default. And then go in there and fire everybody.
Jasper sucks. I used to go up there and go camping and shit.
Yep. I don't ever want to go back there again after that experience. And you know what was funny, Bradley? Is that it was a black cop that pulled me over. I was like, "I'm in Jasper, Texas, and y'all are going to assault a white guy." I said, "It seems like this place doesn't discriminate against white or black guys. They're going to drag me down the street, hook me up to the back of the squad car, and drag me down the road." You remember what happened there, right?
Yeah. And I have friends that know the people that did that shit. And yeah, I know the whole full story. Even the shit that dude did. The reason why they did that.
I heard he did something with was messing with somebody's daughter or something. I don't remember what it was.
It's been 100 years ago. Yeah. Well, I think they probably, I don't know if they ever, I think they may have executed that dude that did all that shit.
It was 2 guys, I thought.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
I figured that he probably did something that warranted that. I didn't think that those guys just did that just because he was black. I'm pretty sure he did something else. Now that's just speculation. I don't know all the details, but
Yeah, you're right on that. I just can't. It's been so long, I can't remember the exact details. So if I told you, I'd be lying to you. So, but I do know there. It's more to the story than what was told.
there always is. Truth is
That was
usually
that was before the incident. That happened before the incident.
well, we don't remember what caused the incident. Like something led up to a series of events where they attached the guy, tied a
I
rope
mean, your
around him,
incident, but your
and
incident in Jasper that was
oh
after
yeah,
that.
yeah, it happened about 2 years ago, year and a half ago or something, when I was working with one of my friends as a plumber's helper, and we just got doing some work in O'Reilly's, and we were leaving, and the work truck had expired registration, and unfortunately he was a felon. So I'm presuming that because he was a felon, they thought I was a felon. Well, when they found out that I'm not a felon and they didn't have anything on me, their whole demeanor changed. And the cop that pulled me over, when I told him I unequivocally invoked my right to remain silent, he said, "Well, I'm not having a very good day." I said, "Well, I'm not having a very good day either. I'm just trying to go home, and now you've just ruined my whole day. Thanks."
It's like when they say, "I'm just doing my job." So I'm trying to do my job. The plumbing,
Yeah.
the work truck.
Are you trying to force me into an unconscionable contract that I don't want to participate in? No thanks. No aceptable para mí.
All I can think of when you say Texas, all I can think of is Waco, but couldn't be worse than that. That was bad. Well, maybe it could.
Yeah, that was bad too. Did you ever see the video on that? Where they said that they
Yeah,
didn't
well,
shoot at those people, and then when they put it in the infrared, you could see the bullets coming at them and shooting them?
oh yeah, no, I don't know that. Maybe
Yeah,
I can't remember.
it was a siege, man. They burnt that whole place up, just shot everybody and killed women and children, and then raised their flag like, "Ooh, we did a justice." I was like,
Yeah,
the government is just, I don't even
a
know what
couple
to say.
FBI agents got shot too. At least one FBI agent got killed. I mean, unless that was fake, but yeah,
No, they
Waco.
were trying to break into the building, and when they tried to bust out they climbed on the top, and they were trying to break out some of the boards where the window was, and the people inside shot them.
Yeah,
Breaking and entering. You're not above the rules. Oh man, who's trying to call me? Somebody trying to call me on here? What?
we'll hold the port down for you.
No, I'm done talking on the phone. I've been on the phone all day, bro. Oh, I got my documents faxed today.
What documents?
My foreign EINs. I got my EIN for my DBA, and then I mailed in my 3 SS4 forms, or faxed them in, for my foreign grantors trust, for my living trust, and for the estate.
Sweet.
Yeah, I was pretty stressed
Return.
out about it. I got it done.
Did you have a return fax number?
Yeah, I got an email confirmation.
An email. So you didn't have to get a return fax? They just email it back? There's some confirmation?
I didn't get any email back. I didn't get no return confirmation. I mean, maybe I did. I don't think so.
But just in case, did you have like a fax that you can receive, fax, a number you can receive fax on, or like you say, email? It's all there, right? Or email anyway.
I would imagine that
For the IRS.
It's on the header. It's got to say who's sending you a fax, right? But I sent them confirmation and basically said, "Here's my phone number and here's my email address." So they'll send it to me, and if not, I'll call them and find out.
Right, but the fax isn't like directly your fax, so it might not. It might go to like Staples or something. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's to my eFax. Yeah, and I have an eFax number.
Oh, okay. Well, how long have you had that?
I just got it today.
I was looking at that one too. I'm looking at a few of them. Cool. Yeah, I was on the phone. Was that the ones I was on the phone with in New York? Been up all night talking to them in different countries, waiting for them to answer their phone. I think it was. No, that was a different one called Consensus. Does that ring a bell? Consensus?
Consensus for what?
Oh, they might own eFax or some. They own MyFax. No, maybe not eFax. But yeah, eFax is the leader in the field.
All right, let me get off here for a second. I got to call Floyd, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Good luck. Did you do yours yet, Bradley?
No, I have not done anything. I don't have the money to, so just
I don't think there's a fee for that one. And people talking about, oh, the doors are closing and do it quick the next 10 days. But anyway, I yield.
yeah, I ain't got the money to do all this shit. I would love to, but it is
I
what
don't
it is.
think just to get the number now, and then you can do the paperwork later. Is that right, Yoda? But I don't think there's a fee.
There's no fee to get the EIN number, and you just have to have the first page of your Express Trust for them.
Yeah,
I didn't know they would ask for the first page. Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, I haven't made it that far yet. I do have my birth certificates authenticated and all that, but that's about as far as I've gone.
I mean, Kimberly, what did they ask you on the form about that, or when they talked to you on an interview? If you fax it, people will say it's a lot better. But Express Trust first page, could you elaborate?
Yeah, it's just like you're expressing there's evidence of a trust, like with your name, your date that it was created, and that kind of thing. So when you call
that's
them,
because your trust is private, but you show proof of it.
Yes, that it has a date on it, and it's been notarized, and pretty much it's. And then like when Jesse was talking about the faxing it in, instead of you, like when you're on the phone with them, they already have that fax, so you don't have to answer a bunch of the questions that, or not a bunch. There's not a bunch of questions. I'll take that back, but they've already got it, and so you just call them to verify the EIN.
Which is like a, was it 98-7-digit number? That's what Queen was saying. And it should have a 6 or 1 or an O in it. I mean, I'm sure it's going to have one of the, maybe she met at the beginning or something. Sheena.
Yes, she did say that about it, and that would be the proof of it being like a foreign trust. Excuse me,
I'm just
private
trying to
trust.
confirm.
I have an EIN for a company I used to run, but I don't have an EIN for a trust or anything.
Yeah, each entity has to have its very own EIN number. Like I've had businesses before, and that's all you can use it for. You can't use it for anything else.
Can you tell us more about your Express Trust that was notarized? Like how many pages, or like you just the front page, the name, and it notarized? That's pretty much it. Or you need a proper certificate of trust. That's another page that could be notarized too.
The
Or
certificate of
Hello,
trust.
everybody.
That's all on that page.
What did I miss?
All the
no,
good
us
stuff, man. Now,
stragglers, you're ahead of me, Bradley. You already got one. You've been through this road.
Oh man, that's okay.
I mean, they know we all have an entity, right? And they it's like credit. They try to make it hard to use your credit, right? Not them, but banks, like how to tap your own credit. But they know we're all an entity. So as long as we have that name down, and like we should be, especially if it's your first one, shouldn't be a problem, right? But I didn't know they're going to ask for evidence like that, though, like the express trust and like maybe not this. Would it be the signature page, or could you go into a bit more detail, Kim? Or did you do it recently, or was it a long time ago?
It's well, Jesse's got mine, and so it's not in my hand, but I have studied it long enough that I understand it pretty well. But you know, like the certificate of trust page, and it kind of just has a reference in a notarized thing that there is a trust, but you don't have to have the body of the trust finished yet. You just have to have proof of it, what date it was created, who the trustee name, you know, the living trust, irrevocable trust, whatever, and then you will get a foreign EIN for that, a foreign grantor's trust, for banking purposes, you guys, when they ask you things like that. It's just for banking purposes.
Okay. Would that pretty much apply to everyone across the board, or other people? I mean, generally speaking, in this group, like the people you mix with and stuff, you want to say banking purposes.
Yeah, because it is. Right? And it doesn't, I mean, if everybody's doing the same process that we're doing, I mean, there's not anything else that, unless you wanted to
Right.
start,
No,
you know.
I'm trying to do it like Jesse's doing it. So I'm glad to hear you got your stuff with Jesse, because I'm glad he got his in. He just said he just got his in.
Yeah, he's been
Oh, you
working
talking
on
about the
it for about
98?
4 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
And is it a 7-digit number, or 4 or 5-digit number, or does it vary? And it should have a 6, 1, and an O in it at the front or the back or something?
I believe it's 9. I could be wrong, but I think it's 9.
Yeah, 9, 8 dash, and then 7 numbers. That would be 9 altogether. Is
No,
that
the
what you mean?
numbers. How many numbers? But yeah, the 9-8 numbers series, and then the 01 or the whatever it was that the little lady was talking yesterday about it.
Yep, Sheena. Yep. I know I might be asking questions behind all you guys. I'm like the back one in the line. You just imagine like I came from another planet. So I have heard, but yeah, that's where I am at. But Bradley, you had one for your company, right? So you have actually been through the process. You called up the IRS years ago, or your accountant. But yeah, that's really good information, Kim. I appreciate that. I could ask you a couple more questions, but I'll yield to someone else. I don't want to do all the talking. Is anyone else trying to get in before the so-called whatever bank outages? I've been living in countries where they don't even speak English for like decades, so I've completely like been so far away from all this. But it's the same in Australia too. In some countries, I mean, they use the same things. So yeah, good luck with that, Kim. When's yours going in? Or it already went?
No, I don't know for sure. I'm just waiting on my friend Jesse to get his part done.
For banking purposes. Good. And I can whip up. I mean, like say, so everyone's doing kind of the same way. Like their all caps name is probably one of the best names for a trust, right? Did you say living irrevocable earlier?
Yes.
You mean like amendable irrevocable? What's a living irrevocable?
That's for your capital name. Wait, let me look at my notes before I tell you something wrong. So yeah, you're going to create that trust, and that's for you to walk around, and then you're going to create that family trust, and this is how the umbrella works. Then when y'all get to that SSN number trust, that means you become the beneficiary. Okay, and just you got to listen to what Ann and Floyd are saying about those trusts, so you can understand why you're doing it and the process and the way that they go.
I'm looking for the video right now. Thank you. Which particular? Because they've done a few together, right? So there's about series of 6 or 8.
Yes, and so if you need to, just start from the beginning and start watching it again until you get that part, and then go to the next one until you can wrap your brain around it. So just you got to. It's all in steps. Everybody wants to kind of jump ahead sometimes, but we have to take these baby steps because we were never taught any of this stuff. So we have to take it slow and let it absorb, so we can do it correctly.
Talk about baby steps. I just spent 3 days on just trying to work out what would be the best kind of way to fax something, fax number. I ended up with some pretty good results, but we're talking micro baby steps.
Well, not really, because so what we got that nugget about that, because sometimes people are not, they have issues with being able to use other technology. Okay, so there has to be another way, and this is like using the registered mail way, because there now becomes a number that is trackable, traceable in their system, just like the registered mail. Okay, you know how everybody's like, you got to send this to the registered mail to get the number to make it a negotiable instrument, a security. Okay,
Right.
like when you're mailing the things.
Everything
So
should
it
have a number.
became like under that same kind of ruling, I guess, because it's like registered mail, like they were using emails, but sometimes that can get tricky. So, but the fax is like sturdy. Okay, it's me.
Yeah, I like that guy that dropped that gem, like you said. They were transmittal, transmittance, and how it falls under a special
Exactly.
class under the government
Exactly.
and those
Because
facsimile transmission.
we are the transmittal unit. Okay, we're the ones that are pushing the documents. We've got to learn to drive things and stay in honor, but we've got to learn to drive our own ships.
That's a darn good way to put it. The way I see the problem is like, anyone can send a fax. We all knew that fax was kind of the best way, but like there's so many other ways. And they go, I could always call it. The online is probably the way, Queen was saying she did online, then she called up. That's kind of a bit better for such and such a purpose. But so many ways to do it that when you get to my age, it's like you forget them all because there's just so many ways to do it. And you forget that one gym we finally decide, but it takes longer. Just too much knowledge.
Yeah. So
maybe
1 + 4 gets to 5. 2 + 3 gets to 5. You see, there's many ways to get to the gate, and it just depends on how many crooked corners you want to take.
Exactly, and that's no excuse for not learning. All these different manuals on it, and someone posted there's a whole section shows how to do it in zero. What's that book? The Zero. It's all in there how to do it too. Zero. We read it. It's got a red cover. 0%. 0%.
But Ann and Floyd's videos on the trust, they're really, really good, you guys. And so and the reads about them. And then you can go to scribed.com if you need to look at examples. There's thousands, and you don't have to sign up. You can just get on there and just be a visitor. But they've got documents and examples, so if you're a visual person, you can see what they're wanting on these papers that we're talking about.
You talking about just Express Trust, or are you also talking about like IRS forms for EIN applications with SS4? Well, SS4. That's easy
I'm
to find.
sure it's on there. I mean, they have every kind of
Everything.
example. You can type in anything and it will come up. Scribed.com.
Scribe.com gets you what kind of documents?
It has examples of everything.
It's spelled SCRIBD, so scribed without the E. It's just SCRIBD. But they have it paid and stuff like that. I remember when I was graduating from uni, there was like I was looking at it, but there's so much stuff there, and then you got to kind of pay to get into it. And then yes, you can find Express Trust elsewhere, but like there's so much stuff. You actually got something? You didn't get lost in there? Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding? It's like getting on Pinterest. You just get going, and you just want to see more and more and more. It's addicting. It's the truth pill, you know. We're just
Okay, what did you
addicted to it.
see? What did you look at the most in this topic?
Everything. All these documents that we are trying to put together and wrap our brains around of why and how and who and when and, you know, who am I's but it's got just I can't even
I
express
heard it
how
has
much.
everything. Declassified documents. I mean, you name it.
I mean, I remember when it started, like it's just like another database, but you have to pay, and it's like, yeah, you will get the really good stuff, and for free you'll get a lot of stuff too, but it's still like within a certain range or scope. Everything is right.
I
Yeah,
haven't
I
seen
hear
any kind of thing like that with Scribed because it is out there. There's government documents on there, and I probably shouldn't even be talking about this stuff on my phone, but it's got all kinds like, Bradley, was that you that said that? They've got all kinds of information,
Yeah,
and
they
so
got
you can find it.
you name it, they got it. I mean, it's unreal from what I
Okay,
heard.
I could name a couple
I haven't
things,
been on
and
there
then like
because I'm not going to pay for it monthly. I know you get a month free, but I don't want them to have my credit card number.
Oh no, I can get on there sometimes without anything. I'm not doing it either.
Oh,
Just
really?
buy a preloaded credit card, and that way, when you're done with it, cut it up and toss it.
preloaded credit card. It's always a good idea.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's what I use. I mean, none of my money sits in the bank. It's all in cash at home in the safe, and I just run down to Myers or Walmart, and hey, I need to put $500 on this prepaid card, and I do it, and within an hour it's
Wow.
there usually.
That's separate than paying your bills by one card, right? Or is that the same thing? As a habit,
I mean, I don't know. I try to pay for everything with
like
cash,
a
but
monthly
if I
thing.
have to,
Do you get a statement?
no, not at all.
No, you go down to like a Walgreens or a CVS or Walmart, and they'll have them cards, usually right there by the checkout. And if it's $500, $20, it's like a gift card, but it's a credit card.
Yeah, it's a prepaid
And you
credit
just
card.
purchase it, and whatever amount that you pay for, that's what's on that damn card.
Right. I
So
don't have
one's
a
to
debit
hide,
card.
one's to hide the information, one's to kind of keep your information centralized. If you do it the other way as well. So people say that's the way the rich pay bills, pay off their credit card at the end of every month.
I don't know. I don't have credit cards. I don't have a debit card. I just have a prepaid card, and everything else is paid for in cash. So, I mean, I paid for my semi just
I just
about
have
all in
2
cash.
debt cards. No such thing as a credit card yet. We all have debt cards.
True, but I don't have an American Express or a MasterCard or a Visa.
No, I like your system. I mean, a debit card is probably actually a credit card. A credit card should actually probably be called a debit card.
You guys think
Right,
about
it
this.
is.
Think about this. Every time you use a debit card or a credit card, do you have or a debit card? Do you have an option to do credit?
Yes, I
No.
do.
Yes,
Okay,
I don't know.
so hang on a second. When you loan somebody money, okay, you're the creditor, right?
Correct.
Okay, so if you are using it as credit, don't you think that you would be able to recoup those credits if you're doing it as credit instead of debit? See, if you do it as debit, then you're not saying that you're loaning the money to the bank. You're saying that you're spending the money. So always do it in credit,
No,
okay?
yeah, that's
Because at
messed
the
up
end
too.
because at the end of the year, when you file your taxes, you can get recoupment on those credits back. And I yield.
Yeah, well said.
Didn't think about it like that.
Basically loaning the money to the bank as credit instead of as a debit. See, if you do the debit, then you're acting like the debtor. But when you're the creditor, you think like the creditor, and so you do it as credit. At the end of the year, you can recoup those credits back. They don't want you to know that, but yeah, you can.
I want all my
Anyway,
credits back like you want your equity.
anyone that determined to open up a Scribe account and search for it, I'll help pay, you know. It's just because of how much I admire your determination. Like for a basic account or something. We won't break the bank, subject to for
How
educational
much is
purposes.
it? How much is it, John?
Probably $15, $30, something like that. I'm just guessing. You know, probably
It's
not too high.
$9.99 a month.
What? How much? 9? Oh, 10. I thought you said 900. 99.
No, $9.99 a month, and actually, you can actually share your information so that your friends and family can get in.
5 members or something. Plus, I'm a student. I can get all that stuff probably. I know a friend can get all that stuff cheap, but I mean, it's $10. You know, you don't have to commit to 12 months, do you?
No, you can cancel before the trial period.
Yeah, this is a month-to-month thing, and but I still don't want to pay myself that much just to look at something. But it is always a good. If people don't know how to search the internet, so there's a lot of stuff in there. I'd say like 75% and more.
Scribe has a lot of information, a lot of documents. You know, so the $10 a month basic charge, it's going to take you 3 or 4 months to just figure out how to use their website to find what you're looking for.
And it comes up on a lot of searches too. If you're looking for a certain document, and it directs you to Scribe. But I always I go for the PDF files more so myself and stuff. I'm not going to be a great researcher, but I did have to study some of that. Not that PDFs were around back then. Started about the 80s, I think. Adobe. 80s something. Late 80s. I'd still love to know, Kim, what documents you looked at the most, like printed, zoomed in on, limited yourself to, and were after.
I just looked at a lot of like decrees and other, just everything that the pages that we've gone over and all the information that we've gone over. And so it just puts it, you know, it just organizes everything. And then you just keep flipping pages in there and you just keep going. I mean, you can just keep going and going and going.
Well, deeds. Did you say deeds? That's very revealing. Or did you say, I think you said deeds?
No, I didn't say deeds.
Man,
but
it has everything. I'm sure it has deeds too.
You started with a D. What did you say? I'm sorry. Forgot already.
That site has all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got everything. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but she was looking for an EIN, you and her express trust. So she was looking specifically for a certain thing. You found 80% of what you wanted, or would you say percentage-wise?
I don't know if I can narrow it down to a percentage, but they've got everything on there that you would need to look at just for examples of things.
Hey Kim, did you pull up any trust and read over them and see what they're like?
Yes, but I didn't look so much at that at the time, but I haven't looked at them recently. But I had just started kind of looking into those several months ago, and then I went to something else. So
Squirrel.
yes,
Squirrel, what's that? Oh, like a squirrel?
Distraction. Yeah, distraction. Squirrel.
I mean, like what I like is with PDFs and stuff. I collect these. I collect Express stuff like that. But I mean, the ones that you can actually it's all done. They're not super templates. You're still gonna change it, but just put your name in. They don't actually, or are they PDFs that allow you to do that too on Scribe? Like call it a template. Let's say we won't. You know, where you can just put in, like they've got it so well defined now that it's John Henry Doe or Jane Doe, and the rest is history. Did you see some of those, Kim? Specifically or expressly express trust?
I'm sure I did, but you can go down to some of the bottom of the pages to print if you need to. You have so many options.
Does it allow you to edit? I guess what I'm saying is, or once you download, can you edit the document? Or not
I don't
always?
remember that. But it's just great. You just got to go look at it yourself, and then you're going to be like,
Oh, I've
wow.
been there. I've been there, but just like I go back every once in a while too. So when you can download and edit and all that other stuff, thinking.
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Before?
Yeah.
Voice of Arkansas.
Yeah. If you're wanting to edit those documents, just use a PDF editor tool. If it's PDF, you can edit it.
You
I'm
can
sorry.
edit anything if you have the right, as long as it's like the right
a lot
format,
of
I guess. Doc,
A lot of it
Word, or PDF.
drag it into Google Documents, and sometimes that'll convert it too. But they got literally what is specifically a PDF editor, which makes it really easy. I usually use OpenOffice, and that asks me if I want to save the changes. I put yes. Makes it editable. Next time I open it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to knock out a couple of those tools that you don't even need a couple other interfaces to do it. You can just do it as soon as you. I mean, you got to load it on your computer, but just cuts out a couple steps.
Right, but when you open it, a lot of times you take it and create a new project and save it in it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Google Docs. That was a good mention too, but it's just too slow for me. But go ahead.
I got you. I pretty well use OpenOffice. It works on all platforms. But with that, I yield. I just wanted to help you out. If you're really needing that edited, it's like, oh, don't let that stop you. And the other thing is get a PDF editor tool. And with that, I yield.
I use Foxit, and if I can find the link to it, I've got a hacked copy. I'll send it to you. I'll put it in the chat room, but I gotta find it.
Let me know when you find it, Jesse. I'd like to see that too. It's called Foxit.
Yeah, it's Foxit PDF editor. I just sent you a copy. If you decide to do any W4s,
yes, please.
You might want to take a look at what I just sent you, because it says that in order to do any addendums or change anything that taxable event that has occurred, you need to you have to ask for permission from the IRS commissioner. But if you read what I put inside of there, I didn't ask for permission. I just basically held him to his oath. So take a look at that, Alan. Tell me what you think. And I'll see if I can find this for you. I don't remember where I put it.
Take a look at it.
Please send that link, because it's always hard to find a good PDF editor. There's so many one Sumatra and stuff, just different ones. And I've checked a few out. I didn't really, but yeah, thanks for that mention. Another one called Slim PDF. There's another one called Ice Cream. Another one, the free one is called DC, right? Adobe Acrobat.
I found it. Yeah. Woo-woo.
That's specifically for PDFs. Pretty easy one to use.
I don't have any problem with it.
What do you use it for mainly? Just to fill in the...
For everything.
Rundown on the PDF editor, John. What you do is you have your original PDF, and you create a copy, and then you create a copy and drag it into the editor and hack away. You still got your original copy. Make sure you do that, because some people start hacking on the original document and something happens.
That's a really good point. It's a really good point, but if I was a beginner, you'd want to say that a lot slower. But I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I probably do need to slow down. I do that a little bit. But yeah, I'm glad you got it, because yeah, that's the biggest thing. Copy the file first and put original on your first one too. But usually you don't have a hard time finding out. But I always put original, and then I'll name the project something else, and I hack away at it.
Or just leave it, like, just make it to, the second version or your name, and just leave the first one like it was.
2.0, I usually name them nicknames.
I like your version control.
Let me take a look at this. What Jesse sent me on the phone here. Hold on a second. I got you guys on.
It's taking minutes, 463 megabytes to upload this, so I'll pin it when it gets done also.
So it's not an online version. Okay. A really good version.
You need to make sure you follow the directions in there when you install it too, because it's a hacked copy, so it's got specific instructions on what you're supposed to be doing. And don't send me a message and ask me how to do it, because I don't remember. So you're going to have to figure it out.
But just go to YouTube.
Get around the licensing agreement.
Just go to YouTube, and they got album videos on there. How to
Well, there's a PDF in there or something. I don't remember what it is. There's instructions on how to do it in there. You just have to learn how to read. So if you're capable of reading and following directions, you should be fine.
IR.
Where there's a will, there's a way. I need to add somebody to the channel here. There we go. Bam. Add them to the channel. Well, it's taking forever to upload this thing. It's only 280 megabytes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a pretty big file.
A lot for a program, yeah.
But I use OpenOffice, and you can get that on what is the name of it? Nanite.com. Let's see if I can find the website for this. NINITE.com. So I don't like to use Windows 10 when you hit the start menu. I hate it. I prefer the old Windows 7 and 8 start menu. So you can go on this website here called nanite.com, and there's a bunch of things that you can download. And there's one of them that you can put the classic start menu if you hate all those other little app windows, which I can't stand them. So you guys might find this useful.
Yeah, if you're looking at that, man, look at how to use PowerShell to get rid of your bloatware too, because you can get all them out. I hate them too, but plus they take up space and they eat up CPU.
Well, it's just hard to navigate and find stuff. It's like they hid everything in Windows 10, and it's just annoying. So I just go back to basic start menu with the programs and everything that's in there. It's just pretty simple. I like simplicity. I don't need to overcomplicate things.
Exactly.
You finished reading that yet, or what?
Halfway through it. I just heard what you were saying. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I noticed you got trademarked by your name.
Copyright. Should be a copyright.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Copyright. I said trademark.
Yeah, I have a common law copyright on my name. So if y'all try to use my name without my permission, I may have to send you a schedule fee.
Yeah.
So be careful with that.
How does that? Do you guys use Office, whatever it's called, Open Office, to open up PDFs and docs equally well?
Yes.
Format. You can, but when you right click it and you go open with, you can decide on what you want to open the document with.
The biggest thing I found out with using Open Office is save everything in rich text format. And even though they say they warn you, if you do this and stuff, I've only ever one time had an issue with it, and I actually saved it in the one that was recommended, the ODF, I think it was. And I got that document. That's the only time it ever acted up. Other than that, rich text formats has always worked wonderful for me. Taking it from a Mac over to a Windows, so that, because I created it on Open Office.
Right.
And
Any editor from to the other. Sometimes I've noticed that too, Alan, that it will mess up the format, or it won't let you edit it right. Just a pain in the ass. So that's good information. Thank you. I'll start doing everything in rich text document format.
Yeah, man. Microsoft Word really has a problem with it when you take it from Office into there. It depends on what year it is, but I've had it. I've opened up a document one day and exploded all over the place. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? I'll tell you what. Let me just get back out of here. Here we go, and went back over to my laptop. I was at the library using one of their computers. I wanted to print it, and it didn't go so well. And that's when I learned that.
So if you decide, Alan, to do a W-4, I would recommend you take what I sent you and you essentially kind of alter it and make it your own, and then send you a little letter to the IRS commissioner.
I will. Appreciate that.
Yeah. What'd you think?
It's good. I know once over, it looked good. I was trying to sit down and read it, and more would jump out at me. What we were working on the other day, and you got called away. I was talking to Rocco today, and I was thinking that maybe we all might get together and do it all together. Me, if Dave wants to do it.
I second that, Dave. I would probably second that.
Talking about the name change?
Yeah, we should all sit down and do it together.
All right. Well, I got my buddy working on my petition for me. So when I get the petition, then we'll have an idea of what it's going to look like, and then everybody can kind of create their own based upon that. All right.
Yeah, we'll definitely get together to do it. You, me, John, Dave.
How about if I create a name change sub-task group, just temporary task group?
Please do.
I'll
just come there. Absolutely. I'm working on my trust. I actually got so far ahead in the course, and I got my friend's wife on the phone. It was a graphic business. Hey, man, listen, I need to come see you. I need you to do this. And I slowed down a little bit. Once I got it to agree to do it, to put and run a copy over top of my birth certificate with the stamp and all that. I read a little closer. It says it's better if you just write it, but if you want to, you could use this template. I'm like, oh, well, shit, don't let me put you through that then. But it's
Well,
just nice.
the only thing is, Alan, is that when I do get the name petition done, you can't just take it. You're going to have to change it and make it your own, because if we all submit the same petition, the judges are going to look at it and laugh at us. You know what I'm saying?
I think he knows that. We know that quality control will have quality control measures on it. Don't worry like that. That's a good point.
Well, I'm glad he's bringing it out, because I could not agree more. There ain't nothing worse than just, okay, I signed on the dotted. Except the trust question I'm following, what you put across the adverse claim, you do want to follow it word for word what it says. But I found out that I could write it. So I went and took care of some business today and bought some brand new fraud-proof pens and found tablets on sale to write on. They were 50 cents a piece. So I got me some extra writing material, and I practiced writing that thing up real good. And I dropped some ink this weekend on the birth certificate.
Is the name change is it like a deed poll name change? I mean, I think, Jesse, you got the most up-to-date grasp of the Arkansas law here, but maybe Alan does too. Is it a
I
deed
don't.
poll?
Jesse does.
I know. I don't know shit about Arkansas except for my buddies got it done there, and it was $180, and it was done in, one of them got approved in 10 days.
Oh, it's 180. Oh, it's 10 days. Yeah, you said that.
You
That's
don't
fine.
have to go in, we don't have to go in front of the judge. All we have to do is go to Arkansas, and we probably could hire a notary online and get them to notarize the documents, and then we file the petition, and then within 30 days, they're going to rule on it. And like I said, my buddy got his back in 10 days. They ruled on it in less than 10 days. And I think the reason why they approved him so fast is because he had an honorable discharge.
Okay.
And I got one too. So
If all you guys need is a
I might
notary,
even have two.
I can get a notary here for you. Is that what you need? You need an Arkansas notary?
Yep.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna need I'm gonna need more than that.
I know a private one.
Let me finish talking.
Go ahead.
Ask the notary if they can do an online notary, okay? And find out what the requirements of that are.
I will. It's a good question.
Because that will save me a trip from having to drive all the way to Arkansas. I mean, that's a long ways. Not
I
really
think
from Dallas. It's like 4 hours, but from Houston, it's 5 hours, almost 5 hours to get to Dallas. So that's a 9-hour trip. And there's no way
that's
in
9
hell
hours. You don't got to travel. You're doing good. I agree.
my back can't take 9 hours of traveling.
That's a long ride, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Y'all think I'm grumpy now, boy. Wait till I get out of the car after 9 hours. Y'all are going to be like, all right, Jesse, go sleep, man. We don't want to talk to you till tomorrow.
I'm getting ready to do 9 hours tomorrow just for a friend to go with him to his class reunion. So I'm being nice.
There you go.
But my reward is I get to go to Graceland on the way home. So
That sounds cool.
yeah, it is. Road trip. Like I said, I'm not minding a road trip, you know. So yeah, we'll enjoy it, you know. And get there about 9 hours. Got to go to Kentucky from Louisiana from Baton Rouge to somewhere in the middle of Kentucky. I don't know, wherever his sister lives.
It takes me about 9 hours to get to where you are.
In Baton Rouge, yeah. But that's what I'm packing for right now is a road trip tomorrow.
That's awesome. Hey, John, you creating that group?
Yeah, I am actually. That's what I was saying. Like deed, the word deed poll came to my mind, but I don't think it's a deed. I'm just trying to get more information. Yes. But
Yeah.
you have,
Good.
you know, but you're not in Little Rock either, right? Or not that it's all in Little Rock. It could be, I guess, any corner.
I'm not in Little Rock, but I'm not real far away, but I'm not real close. I think it's Little Rock's like 3 hours from here, 3-4 hours.
Are you closer than Dave?
No, Dave's closer. to Little Rock, but you don't got to go to Little Rock. All you got to do is go to a judge.
Yep, that answers my question. Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's no problem. Like I'm saying, but now I don't know. Jesse knows more about the others, but from what I've gained to understand is all you got to do is basically have an Arkansas address, which means where you get your mail, and you can go to any courthouse. The only thing I'm wondering if I won't be better off going over here to Fayetteville over to the federal courthouse to do it compared to.
Alan, we're not going in there, bro. We're just filing the petition. We're not going in the courthouse. We're not doing none of that shit. We're filing the petition, and then they're going to rule on it. We don't have to talk to nobody or nothing.
How you going to file it? You going to fax it or you going to mail?
I don't know yet, but I imagine that we're probably going to give it to you, and you're going to take care of it.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. That's why I'm just asking questions. And right, man, I'm all on board with this. Along with the name change, we are removing the disabilities minorities, right?
Yes, the minor disabilities.
Minor disabilities. There we go. Yeah. I'm sorry. I realized I've been all over the place learning all kinds of great stuff. And I should have a little bit more of my trust course studied, but it's all starting to come together now. Looks like the goal before the end of the year is over. It is going to be very achievable, and hopefully before October on the trust.
In fact, I'm going to message my buddy right now, and I'm going to ask him what's up with this paperwork, just to send me. Where's he at here? Come on, Brendan. One thing, Brendan, he don't get in a hurry to do shit, and I
appreciate the proactive. That's being proactive. I set it up, and I invited a couple of you guys, Name Change Arkansas, Removing Minor Disabilities group.
Awesome. I just would have named it Mary Kay or something, but we're good.
I want to add Dave. I know Dave's, he's like you mentioned, Dave, that's going to be a good.
Yeah. Dave,
Rocco too. He wants to do the Arkansas one.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
We talk today. You can add me too. I'm sure you will.
You were the first one I added.
Good job. Fair.
This is just a temporary group. Envision it as a temporary group, like 72 hours or a couple weeks. I don't know.
Everything's pretty well temporary, isn't that? That was a joke. Did you hear me?
One did. I'm not sure who you is, but one did.
Okay. Right. Can you please elaborate on this you?
It's a bad joke.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to you.
What was the one Jesse just said? Could you elaborate more on this you?
As in sheep. That's why I said it's a bad joke. What's even worse is when they call you Dad. That's an Arkansas joke. A lot of states it's still illegal to smoke marijuana. The dispensaries and stuff are now getting pretty wild, but about 4 or 5 years ago, I find it ironic that it's illegal to smoke marijuana and possess marijuana, but it's okay to date sheep. Some of the states, it's okay. I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me. Nope.
Yeah, we get a lot of those in New Zealand. They have a lot of those kind of jokes in Australia too. I get kind of sick of them. But either way, I'm excited over return. But they eat a lot of lamb, and Americans only eat lamb like once a year or something, twice a year.
Depends who you're talking about. Is it veal, baby lamb? like veal parmesan and all that. Isn't that baby lamb? I thought it was.
Veal is, yes.
Yeah, I heard some pretty sick stuff that they do though. I guess they take that baby lamb and don't let it move. They put it in a little box, and that's it, so the meat doesn't get muscular. Pretty cool
Yeah,
thing they do with the animal.
it is pretty good. I've
That's
had it myself.
that's why I don't
Yeah,
eat
it's
veal much.
right
I eat
too.
more in America than I do.
I took a stainless steel gas grill that I found on the side of the road that they were throwing out. It was a small one, and I'm like, man, that thing don't look too bad. Let me get it. The burners are gone. And I was glad because I put some bricks in it, and I've been burning wood in the bottom. It had these nice cast iron grates in it, and it's got a top shelf. So I put my pizza stove up on the top shelf, and I cooked some burritos tonight. Wood-fired burritos. I usually do the biscuits and all that, but I'm having wood-fired burritos with tomato basil organic sauce from Aldi's tonight on it.
Sweet.
Pretty good.
Can you hook me up a lamb burger? You can get those in Berkeley. They're not always reliable. I mean, they'll have it sometimes. You ever tried a lamb burger?
I have not. One time as a joke, my friend, and this ain't no joke, he always made fun of the packaging labels on the stuff, and he sent me a picture of this one milk called Homo milk. That ain't right. And a couple weeks later, man, he lived in Colorado, and he literally sent me a photo. It said, uncured bison wieners. And then they're bison hot dogs. But when you read the wording, it's like, yeah, I don't think I want any of that. Everybody was commenting, poor little bisons. I think something like that, like bison or anything like that. Bison's a cross between a buffalo and, what are they, buffalo and, geez, I forget now. You got buffalo and then you got bison.
Bison's bison. It's also buffalo. I mean,
aren't they a crossbreed of a buffalo though? A buffalo and something else?
no. It's a bison. Straight up bison.
Okay.
But also buffalo is what, I mean, you can get a buffalo burger damn near anywhere if you got a Navrosky's or some shit like that around here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Colorado, man, they got them elk that come right into town. That's funny.
I've heard that's pretty good too. Don't know. Never had elk.
I haven't either, but I've never heard anybody say it was terrible. I've never heard anybody say that, oh, I don't care for it at all. Which would be understandable. You'd think you would, but I've never had anybody say that.
Hey, you get hungry enough, it doesn't matter what it is. The fuzzy-tailed rats running around in your yard during the day, you know, you'll cook that shit up and eat it if it comes down to that.
When I was young, I worked construction, plumbing, and whatever I was doing for the couple of months, if they could use you, and then you go do something else. That's how I learned construction. Pretty well all phases through it, but a lot of the guys, the older guys, a little bit older guys that knew what they were doing were in Vietnam at one time. And my dad did 3 tours himself, but I had a really good friend there. His name was Gino. I'll never forget him. Taught me a lot of stuff. Great guy to talk to. And he even told me some wild stuff back then. But he said, no, man. He says, oh, yeah, rats. We ate rats, but listen, it's not like you think, man. Because I told him when I was young, I used to help my brother trap muskrats. They're a lot bigger, corn-fed and all that. I said, the restaurants eat them. And, you know, even though they had that scaly tail on them, it was all clean water and all that corn and stuff. I said, you know, that rat probably wasn't that bad. We used to feed him to the dogs and stuff like that because we weren't eating it back in the day. But the more I think about it, that's when he stopped. He goes, that's exactly like Vietnam. All the rats run through the rice paddies in the water. He goes, man, no, there's rats 2.5 feet long, not a problem. I said, you don't think we ate them? And the other thing were the monkeys. You used to eat the monkeys too.
I had one of my ex-girlfriends, she was a military brat, and she was overseas and been in China, you know, was born in Japan, been to China, you know, all the places over there, and she has had cat and dog.
Absolutely.
And also she knows about the monkey brains. I don't know if she ate those or not.
Yeah. Even in the Philippines, they eat dogs and all that stuff. Dogs, all that. They got no problem eating dogs. You don't see a bunch of strays running around. Because they eat them.
That's only in the winter time. They eat it in the winter because it keeps them warm. You don't see it in summer, rarely. Especially in winter. Yeah. And right. Not including the pets, that they're all kind of into that big pet thing now too, but that's different. Because during the Cultural Revolution, you also had to eat your own pet chickens too. But
yeah.
But pet chicken, that sounds kind of weird, you know. Like,
I
know someone that happened to. It was like a little boy's chicken, but then he cried but then later on he was eating it. It was like really tasty.
I have one here. It was a rogue rooster, a red rooster. It showed up, and it chases my cats around. They don't mess with it too much. The mother cat of this one that I had right now, she'd have killed that chicken. It's like not a problem. You come with that. I watched her kill rabbits and all other kinds of stuff, but I don't have her no more. And the mom cat, she's a great hunter. She just don't mess with it. But it showed up one day, and I had a can of corn here, and I threw it to it, and I figured it would go down the creek and be on its way. But no, it's been here about 3 months now, and it comes and sees me in the morning. I pick it up. I can pet it, all kinds of stuff. It's a rooster, and I named him Brock. I'd be sitting there. I'd be sitting down there.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd be sitting down there by the creek and hearing.
There's a chicken chain. They got like a chain of restaurants out here called Red Rooster.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I told you I got the creek in the backyard there, and I sit there by my little lawn table, the chair there, chilling out with my. I told you about the aversion table that I got, my little area there, and I hang upside down and check the creek out for a little bit in the morning, and come back up, sit there. All the animals been fed, and my chicken and all them done. Take another break and go sit back down there come noon, especially when it was really hot. It was me, the dog, the cats, and the chicken. Let's sit there hanging out with this friend. Made himself a little pit. He was just hanging out with the guys. Pretty interesting. That's why I could pick them up and actually pet them.
So I kind of just came in, but do you have any pictures of that you'd like to share?
Any pictures of what?
Pictures of your cock. Thank you for laughing.
Yeah, man. No, I'll tell you what. I wish I had a couple of videos of this bird because he's crazy, especially when he gets chasing the cats around.
So you have a video of your cock chasing pussy around. Is that what you're talking about?
You're right. But yeah, there you go. I guess. I said I should take one, but funny as funny could be, because you ain't leaving until you feed him. He will chase you down. I come running across the yard. Went to leave early one day.
Sent you a dick pic in the chat. Check my cock out.
That's not what I was saying. You got any pictures? You got proof of this cock existing?
Yeah, it's in the chat. Check it out. Check my cock out. He's a golden lace Wyandotte.
Oh, awesome.
Beautiful.
We moved into the house in Florida, and there was a greenhouse there. My friend tipped over all the water because he didn't want mosquitoes. An old greenhouse, all the pots back there. About 4 days later, here was this really gant chicken on the landscaping trailer. I looked, at first I thought it was fake, and then I realized, oh man, he's there, and oh, he was really dehydrated. I put some water down, some bread. That chicken became my bird. And he, like I said, he came up from, he was staying in that greenhouse and drinking that water back there. When he flipped it all over, there wasn't no water from him. But then he'd hang out on the front porch, and we had a couple neighbors, and he was, first couple of times they shoot at him like that, and he wound up chasing him around his Honda a couple of times. Bird was on it. He's like, oh my God, he's running around the Honda. The bird's sitting there chasing him. And this bird, when you walked up, all you had to do with him, stand your ground, because he'd come at you with the wings open. He'd stop and he'd come at you. And then if you even tried to flinch and go the other way, he was coming. But if you stood your ground, he'd back off and respect you. A friend came over and brought his girlfriend with him. I told him that. Well, it lasted for about 2 minutes because she went to bend her knee and it was on. Let me see here. Why this thing ain't letting me in? Good hood show. Let me see. Wow, man, I'll tell you what. One day and I logged in and I caught up to where I didn't read. And there's over 215 messages. But this group's huge. That's a pretty bird, man. What's that bird called? What type of rooster is that? What kind of rooster is that? Hey, John, you there?
Yep, still here, just typing something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that group, man. Cool. I'm glad you got that started. I forgot what kind of bird he said that was, but I always wondered what that rooster was because I had one here for about 4 months, about 2 years ago.
So with the Arkansas name change, what would that 180 fee be? Was that the court fee, Alan, or the filing fee? Mainly just 100% taxes, or what? You've been down there before, right?
All right. I got to intervene here for a second, so you are going to have to listen to this and bear with it because this is how
Million songs, brother.
I had to
So,
play that one for you, Tim.
oh no, I know. Government not for hire. It's in that, man. Ever since I went down this rabbit hole, I listen to a lot of music, man, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. They're telling you.
Way back in the day, the old Police song, when you find your servant is your master. It's like, are you shitting me, man? Really, it's 70s, man.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's,
before start making sense, don't they?
yeah, man. It was, oh yeah, that's how Roxanne, yeah. And when you find your servant is your master, it's like, holy shit. That's, yeah, that sure can speak to a lot of them. I was telling Rocco today, in the 90s, I used to listen to The Doors. Well, I grew up listening to The Doors and all that old 70s music, but there was a CD that I got hold of that was from Jim Morrison. It was called American Poet. And they had the music and they had him talking, doing some of his poetry and some of his quotes and stuff that he said. And there's a lot of stuff in there, man. Most people spend their life lost in the struggle for paper. We're controlled by the TV. I just went on and on and on. I was listening to that in the late 90s. I was like, man, look, wow, I didn't know all that stuff was there. And I also didn't understand how I got adjusted to what he was saying, but I really didn't. Now it's a much deeper meaning. I'm sure you know what I'm saying. It's like, wow.
So do you think Jim Morrison is Rush Limbaugh?
No, I think I've learned some stuff that they have to tell you. And from what I've seen, all the old music was a psyop. All of it, from the Doors to Dead, all of it.
What do you think? Remember EMI led?
I understand that's a psyop, but like, explain to me like what the psyop is. Like telling you
mind
the truth?
control and mind control. Every one of them, every one of them were like to rich admiralties. Jim Morrison's dad was an admiral or something like that. There's a whole documentary of it on YouTube, but what's really disturbing is that Charles Manson individual never killed anybody, but supposedly had all those killings done. And the truth of the matter is he used the same mind control that was used on him, that was taught to him from the CIA to get those people to do it. Because, I'm sorry. I don't do drugs and stuff anymore. But like back in the day, I'm tripping and I'm like, hey, Al, let's go over and kill somebody and cut the baby out. And, man, I'm going to tell you to go to hell. That's what I'm going to tell you to do.
So it said Charles Manson really didn't kill all those people. Somebody else did.
He had them do it. But here's the deal with Charles Manson. Charles Manson didn't have any job. They said that he went off on Hollywood because he didn't get the part for the Monkees on there. Davy Jones did, or one of them anyways. That was the official story. But the truth of the matter is he didn't have any job.
Just hate to interrupt, but the Monkees was a psyop too. Keep going.
All of it was. But this is the official story. This is why he supposedly went off. The truth is, he's living in California on this big ranch, got all kinds of stuff, all kinds of money. I mean, who financed this? That's the real question.
The director in Hollywood that owned the ranch. I can give you his name.
Did you know that Nancy Pelosi lived with them too on that ranch?
There you go.
I bet she did. Eh? How did you know that? Where does that information come from? That's fascinating.
I've been digging for 5 years, and yes, I saw it.
It's crazy. And I don't believe a thing they tell
Like,
me.
where did you dig? Like, because I've looked at pretty much everything on that.
On some of the information, like way back, and then you can't find it now. You know, they've just ripped everything down. That's when
'Cause
people were really going at it and just spilling the beans. But
she
yeah, I
is
was
what
like,
the
oh my
former
God.
senator from San Francisco or whatever. Because he used to live on Cole
Her
Street.
father was part of the mafia, remember?
Right. And you know why Sharon Tate was murdered? She wanted away from the Masons. She was getting away from them. I'm done.
Don't forget that every part she did in the movie up until that point was pretending to be like a vampire in a coffin that was murdered, or a witch, or someone who was killed. So that was her acting job anyway, to do that. So anyway, I got proof that none of them, that the whole thing was this, none of them. But I don't know if she died or not. But Roman Polanski, that was his wife, right?
There you go.
What did you say? She wasn't away from the what? Sharon Tate, when she was murdered, she wasn't what?
She wanted
every one of her roles in Hollywood was, and I said that. Go ahead, you guys.
No, it's okay. All I was saying is she was asking why. Well, what they brought out is that she was actually trying to get away from the Masons. She didn't want any more part of what they were doing. They take you up level by level by level. And she's like, God, this is getting just a little too sick for me.
Well, the Masons, they only allow men, though. So maybe there's the Eastern Star. Okay, you're talking about, okay.
Yeah. That whole circle, man. It's a masculine and a feminine, like the Bohemian Grove, all of them. But that's like I said, I wasn't there. That's the thing. But the point is, Charles Manson never killed nobody and used some powerful mind control on everybody else to get them to go do it, right? Here's the deal. He was financed. There ain't no way.
Totally. They were given that ranch up there, and it was paid for by the Hollywood director. That proves right there that whole thing was like a stage.
Yeah, you're doing something for somebody. And actually, one day I was doing some cleaning, working, and I'm hearing this guy talking in the background, and I could tell the way he was talking and the verbiage. Like, one of the things I say, brother, the ideas of going out back on the back 40 and cutting down 100 trees because you need a big fat home are over, Jack. And the way he said, I said, boy, that's dated verbiage there, man. And I'm listening, but he's talking about water conservation, not killing the trees. I'm thinking, right on. Cool. Yeah, there we go. And I turn around and I look, and on the laptop screen, there he is. And it says Charles Manson. I'm like, holy shit. And in the 80s, I saw them interview his girlfriend, and she was an environmentalist too, talking, I think it was 60 Minutes interviewed her. And she was bringing out, you know, Charlie never killed anybody, don't you? There's never been
They were all, like you said, he was trying to get into the movie. She was a movie star. They were all actors trying to get into the scene. And we don't know if he really got put into a federal prison for it. So they say he did, but have you actually been to the federal and seen it? And sometimes he would come out and so on and so forth.
Exactly what I was saying. I don't believe a damn word they say. None of them. I don't believe. I don't. George Floyd and stuff. I don't even think that happened. But I could be wrong. It's just how do all them bricks get there? This shit's all can be. Look at the direction this is going. If somebody ain't fueling this fire, and they tried to say, "Oh no, there's no big deal." Shit. Floyd and that cop worked together for many years. Security and all this stuff. There's all kinds of shit show on that too, and it's like, man, I don't believe none of this anymore. I'm done. The Orlando shooting. I used to live in Florida, and I lived in Orlando. I was born in Sanford, right where they were showing them. The cops are each carrying a guy. They're walking past the camera. And they figured
the Pulse nightclub.
Yeah. They put him down, and he walks away. But guess what? He's walking towards the nightclub, not away. I'm like, holy shit. Man. Yeah. I started looking at that stuff. Yeah. Everything you know.
I think the Orlando shooting is a bunch of bullshit. And what about the one with the concert? That's different. That's Las Vegas with the big concert.
Yeah, one shooter out 2 windows. Yeah, that's bullshit too. No, nobody saw all those. I mean, how are you going to get that much artillery up a hotel in an elevator? Nobody's going to notice that you're walking through the lobby. Ridiculous.
I can't even say how close I missed that one by like I think weeks. Then it might sound like I did it here on Telegram. So, but I was in Vegas just before that. Jerry Lewis died that kind of month too in Vegas.
Oh, did he?
Sure did.
That was something else. When Elvis died, I never believed it. I said, it seems to me like the guy wanted to be left alone. He probably had enough money to disappear. I didn't realize how right about it and wrong about it I was, because they retire those people, man. Especially when they come out with all that spelling on the stone stuff.
They
That's
say
like,
he's still alive. He's some preacher or something like that.
well, just for him to go out before, he used to have to rent malls. They'd close them down. He'd rent them so he could go shopping and go buy some stuff. Actually go out in the public, because I mean, like he's gonna roll up in a low. Hey, everybody!
I feel like Michael Jackson for sure is alive because he's young enough to be, and he
Right.
always wore disguises.
I heard he's living with his brother in Dubai. By the way, if that helps.
Which brother?
Probably. Let me see. Randy, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know the brothers' names.
Because I'm in Louisiana, and his oldest brother Tito has been hanging out with a friend of mine that's a recording artist, and they just made an album together. And I actually met him. I mean, he came to a concert that my friend played, and
Tito, his brother.
Tito, yeah. Uh-huh.
What do you think about Janet and Latina? What's her name? This other sister.
Like Janet and I don't know.
And his younger sister, Latina. I forgot her name.
Whatever her name is. I don't know. I think Janet was working.
Latoya.
She popped her boob out at the Super Bowl, you know. So I think,
With Janet Jackson.
yeah. I don't know about them. I don't know how good they are.
And Latoya, yeah, you're right, Kim. Latoya.
Latoya,
That was
yeah.
a wardrobe malfunction. Okay, that's what happened.
You think it really was a wardrobe malfunction? It wasn't a plan?
No, Justin Timberlake pulled it off.
It was intentional, but that was their cover story so that they could get out of it.
So why did they do it? Why did they do it?
Because they were trying to get attention.
Division. That's why.
Pushing the limit. That's why.
Yep.
Get you back in the limelight for a while. Nobody's heard of you. You haven't done no albums and stuff. Oh, look, got a movie.
Yeah.
Well,
You're back in
What's
the
your
limelight.
theory? What's your theory why it happened?
Mine,
Well-
they wanted to see that. They wanted you to see them $100,000 nipples.
I didn't get to see him. Where can I watch the replay?
I remember when that happened.
They probably used up.
Yeah.
When you become unrelevant, show your ass so that you can become relevant again.
That's it. Got me some ginger today at the store. I'm making some ginger water for tomorrow. Let it soak overnight. That'd be nice and tasty. They didn't have no lemons though. That's the thing about living here in Arkansas. The produce is kind of come and go and not that great. That is one thing I miss about Florida. Man, I used to get some nice produce down there. Part of my life, I used to just go pick it off the tree. When I lived in South Florida, man, I rented this place where, man, I've never seen mangoes so big. I tell people how big these mangoes are, they look at me like I'm bullshitting. Come on now. So I'm not kidding, man. They were that big, and I'll tell you what, you'd be sitting there on the couch and one of them would fall off that tree and hit the roof. Scared the Jesus out of you. After a while, you got used to it. I mean, when that thing hit the roof, it was kabang! Because it fell probably 20 feet from the tree. Big old trees. Mangoes and, had a star fruit tree down there too. Mix some of this water here.
You grew up with a star fruit tree? Those yellow, orangish, green ones?
I was in a place where they planted them. and it was really nice. Got that star fruit growing and a few others too. Biggest thing down there, a lot of people like to start is the avocado trees.
And the Valencian oranges. What was that? That's where they started them? Avocado trees?
A lot of people like to. It's one of the hardest trees to go is an avocado tree, but like, man, it's on when you get one right. I mean, of course, you got the traditional Georgia peach tree, but Florida, South Florida gets a little hot. Those other fruits grow really well. Mangoes, avocados, it's tropic. Oranges do well too, but most oranges don't taste that good until after the first frost. Sweetens that sugar up in that fruit a little bit.
I remember when you guys got your whole crop wiped out by frost a couple times.
Especially Central Florida, man, it devastated it. The whole area where I was born, that was all orange groves and beautiful lakes, and yeah, well, the city ordinances and all of the place grew so much. I swore I'd never leave, and at the last was like, good gosh, get me the hell out of here. It took me 5 years to get out of here, but I bought property in the mountains in Arkansas. I made little podunk town, all this stuff, and it's Hicksville, but where I live, it's like, well, one thing I know for sure is I ain't going to develop none of that or none of that. I mean, I can't control what goes on the 50 miles down the road, but they ain't doing this. The biggest thing they got around here is a Tyson's plant. And over in Missouri, the guy who owns Bass Pro has come over at an old amusement park that's like probably 100 miles from here, and he's bringing that back. That property there, he's going to develop that. That guy, whenever he puts money into anything, it takes off because all the developers are coming with them. Well, you see, Branson's right down the road, so that's where like the big town by me, Harrison and that, nobody spends a lot of money developing anything because it's like, what for, man? They're just going to Branson anyways. All the tourists drive straight through and they're going to Branson, so let's just make a gas station to sell them gas and everything else before when they go.
Speaking of Arkansas opportunities, with the removing minor disabilities, can we talk a bit more about that and why that's so important, what that means? And is that the main reason we're doing it besides, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about this, full disclosure. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm going to say I listened to the brother and a lot of it made sense. Because, yeah, man, if that's really on you just the wording. Minor, you're a minor, so we all know what a minor is governed. You don't have your full. Well, basically, a minor's not going to be able to stand up and say, "I am man." Number one, a minor, and disability and minority. Well, you're disabled through the fact that there's a Minority Act on you. That's what that word's saying, and this is how you're my age, 56, 57 years old, man, and they're calling you a minor. Even though, no, man, I'm a man and all this stuff, and I can understand what the guy was talking about, why they steamroll you, if this is true. Because, yeah, man, basically, that judge up there, everybody said, no, Junior, you can't take the car tonight. Go to bed. Clean your room and mow the grass. We'll talk about it tomorrow. See what I'm saying? And it seems pretty reasonable, but the other part that was said that night is once you go into the private, that this is supposed to happen automatically, but I don't know.
Yeah, the other way to do it, yeah.
Well, it seems like if you did that, and I think they were saying there's another layer where they can't get into the trust. But from what I understand, keeping out of the trust and just make sure it's non-revocable and they can't do anything. That keeps them at bay, and that's how I'm capturing my birth certificate and all that. I'm doing the course to capture my birth certificate and basically put a lien against myself. If they do want to come arrest me, well, cool. Get out $50 million, and I'll by all means. You got $50 million, settle the lien, and you feel free to arrest me. I've heard other people say, well, you don't think anybody else has a lien on you? I don't think so. Especially, I noticed Jesse, what I meant to ask Jesse is he's got the C the copyright by the name right there. If he's got that already in place right there, well, now you got the name copyrighted. I think that's a really good idea too. That was one of the first things I was told about when I started talking with the guy who made this trust course. Boy, time flies. 4 or 5 years ago. Can't believe we've known each other that long. He was talking about it. I was talking about it. He says, you want to copyright your name and all variations of it. Give examples, upper, lowercase, all that. So any way they contact you, it's copyright infringement. If you choose to push it and they didn't have permission, or they didn't have permission. Well, I'm sorry, let me reword that. That don't make any sense. If they didn't have permission and you choose to push it, there we go. Push the issue. Hey, man, you wrote me this letter. I never gave you permission to you use my name. You never paid me for it, but you are today going to pay me for this letter. But from my understanding, too, to make that stick, there's quite a long mailing list that you need to send everybody notice to. And I understand that you also got to run the ad in the newspaper. Some sort of public notice. I think the newspaper is about the best way for 30 days. Or maybe 90, but I believe it's 30. That's how you used to get car titles. Abandoned car. My friend had a towing and recovery thing, and he ran it for, I think in Florida they used to run them for 60 days. I forget. But this is stuff we need to find out. Because once you've given public notice and sent the sheriff's department, the city, everybody you don't want writing your letter, you just make good and sure you sent them their copies and that they received it. Might not be bad. Well, no, that's a little overkill, but part of it is you can close the self-addressed stamped envelope back to you. But now that might turn around and bite you because they can say they mailed it and it wasn't registered. There's no way to prove they didn't. Yeah, that might be a door you don't want to open. Probably not. I was putting that in there because that's what Alphonse does with the grand jury. He gives a special method on how to get your stuff in front of a grand jury, and it's the state's attorney or the district attorney, and you're not asking to get involved. You're merely asking them to forward this to the foreman of the grand jury. And then the instructions, you put a self-addressed stamped envelope for the foreman of the jury that once he gets it to mail it back to you. This way you'll know that you have indeed received this by claim, rather. Getting out of using the word complaint. But
Yeah,
personally, I think there's a lot to it.
better word is instrument.
There you go. That's very good. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. That is the finest word.
It's,
Is the word instrument. It can be played.
turn your volume up. You're pretty low there. There we go. Would you say one more thing so I can hear you?
Yeah, it's an instrument because an instrument can be played.
Absolutely. I hear you much better now. Thank you very much for your input. Absolutely. I'm adding that to my notes.
So it's a perfected word. Yeah, and another one is if you're not going to call it an instrument, a debt obligation is another key word to use.
There you go.
Because it would be of interest of a trustee if it's a debt obligation.
Right. Are you interested in doing this process as well?
Brother, because of my name, Cite Your Authority, my interest lies in all people being free, and the process that you speak of does not exist yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it hasn't been perfected. It hasn't gone past the 7-year test.
Okay.
So many of these things that have been tried, people have gone to jail for 20 years, 10 years, 15 years because they were audited within 7 years and they were tried for things that they did 6-7 years ago. And so a lot of these groups that are trying these processes, they think they're the first ones and the only ones that have done it.
Right.
They think that they patented a process. And I'm here to say, cite your authority, show me, because I've been a part of the group of freedom for so long, and we've been working with such poor information for 20 years, 30 years. We've been working with imperfected knowledge. And now that we do have some perfected knowledge, I don't want to run down those same avenues that I know are dead ends without observing, something new in the technology.
Well, what do you feel is a dead end about it?
Which process are you talking about?
Eliminating the minorities, the disability of minorities, eliminating it.
You'd have to be more explicit.
Well, the name change, and there's a process that, like I said, like you just pointed out. I don't know how long this has been going on, but what they're doing is they're going in and they're getting the disability of minorities lifted from your status.
So, how do I want to say this? So name change to me is whenever, and with anyone that says a name change, to me, the first knee-jerk reaction is that they don't know what they're talking about. Because a more perfected way to talk about what they're talking about is the rights, titles, and interest to someone that you assign through a notice of interest or a notice of assigns of interest. Okay. Because who cares if you get a name change? I don't care if you get a name change. Did the liability tag along with your new name? Right?
Bingo, that's what they're saying, to change it 100%.
So who cares what your name is? I want to know if you assigned a good person, if you assigned the proper name, if you assigned them the proper rights, titles, and interests.
You said person.
To separate those interests.
Well, I mean, it's only we're trying to do this just as a one individual being, right? Like not having them have to help you. I don't know if it means witnesses or whatever, but so it's how we organize these entities, right? Yeah, so that is very important. But for a first step, people who haven't done anything, at least they got something in their hand that isn't completely wrong, but it would be good to know every spirit, detail, and intent letter of the law.
Well, listen,
and why we're doing it.
Well, you can't change your new name. Like in the Holy Scriptures, usually your new name is given to you because of your fruit, because of what you have become.
You're not really changing the name, guys. It's not your name to begin with. The all capital letter name has never been your name. All you're really doing is setting the record straight. Okay, that this is the proper way that my name is. These are the things that I want to be removed. These are the things like exactly what Cite Your Authority is saying, the title and all those other things. So I only use the word name change because that's what probate court refers to it as.
Right, I get that. Yep.
But let me finish, John. You're not changing the name. All you're doing is setting the record straight, okay? Because that's not your name. This is my name in proper English. So it's not really a name change per se. It's more of setting the record straight so that once you have that documentation, you can go to the other channels to set the record straight. And I yield.
So this record that we're talking about setting straight, the real record, this is why I wrote my prayer notice of repentance and prayer for equitable relief. The reason why is because people are confused. They're confused. It's not about a name change. It's about you believing that the all caps name is yours. Okay? It's about you believing you believing it so much that you respond in writing to all cap name. So the correction is your mistake, because you were mistaken that you answered for this all caps name, which wasn't you physically. And usually and this is the weird part, when you do answer to that all caps name, usually you are a minor. And that's a whole nother issue. But the reality of it, no matter what name you take, you need to assign interest, rights, and titles of the various interest, rights, and titles that all caps name has, and that your new name has. And that's a big deal to comprehend what I just said, to assign, because when you join the military, you're issued. So the first copy is always going to be an issuance, and then anything that you do to something issued, it's going to be assigned, is the word. So if something was issued in life, it's because it's the genesis of the instrument, the beginning of the instrument. And then after the genesis or what was issued, all other actions are assigned or assigns.
Would you repeat that sentence again? Thank you for repeating that sentence. Would you repeat it again, to assign rights and titles?
Yeah, so it's about assigning rights and titles and interests properly to particular entities. That could be all caps names. It could be several of them. And the reason why I say that is because if you do it into a trust position, then you're going to mention the person that is taking the calls, called the trustee. Because if someone has a claim against one of the pieces of property that you usufruct, that you use, they have to serve process to somebody. And having a trust sets up that legal person besides yourself. It sets up that person that they call if they have any problems with that rights, titles, and interests. So I yield.
About changing the liability, also, layman's terms, kind of. No liability.
Yeah, directing the liability to another entity, to an explicit entity. Directing it through an assignment. Assigning another entity that liability. Assigning it other than to the assigned right now, which the liability is assigned to your all caps name, or quote unquote their fiction name that they use to put you into their system.
Well, it's Caesar's. So, like everybody says, give it back to him. Here, take this. It's yours.
Well, it isn't even issuing. Issuing is still a public divulgation, isn't it? I mean, you can't have an assignment, like you just said, you can't have an assignment until issuance, and issuance is voluntary, so issuance is still above or upon the public record through being a publisher. Divulgate.
Right, but in this case, it's mainly just we're the trustee. Is that how it works?
Are you the trustee?
If you're
we're
issuing,
kind of following you, Jesse.
I'm not
hoping
the
you'll
trustee.
say.
I don't know what you
Well,
are.
okay. All right, you haven't done that process yet. I might be mixing it up with something else, the EIN or something.
Hey, Jesse, I wanted to comment about your instrument.
Go ahead, please. I want to hear what you thought about it.
Yep. So pull up UCC 3-114. That's one of the most important parts of UCC to comprehend. And the next thing I want to say is the citation or mention of a UCC is copywritten. And so anytime you breach a copyright, there's going to be a potential claim against you. So just by putting UCC 1-308 by your name, that's a copyright infringement. Now, UCC 3-114 talks about the hierarchy and confusion and non-confusion of the styles and forms of language, like written, like numbers versus words. So I want you to kind of step back and look at how many infractions you may have.
I have common law copyright on my name, right?
Yeah, it matters not to me. I'm just telling you. We could get into your common law copyright, but you're not going to be happy by the end of things. I promise you. My specialty is in intellectual property. I am a patent holder, a trades holder. I specialize in claims, in patent right, copyright claims. That's my specialty. And so I'm just bringing in my knowledge of the law and equity, brother. And when I see those stuff, that's just, it's riddled with mistakes of copyright infringement. Peace, brother. I yield.
What about a common law copyright? Is that riddled with copyright infringement?
Okay, so guys, listen up, take notes. What people believe copy law is, common law is God's law. And that's completely wrong. Okay? There's two things that normally common law is considered. There are two words. It's considered case law and precedents or precedented case law. Okay? Now, to be explicit about common law of the case law is that there is certain common law. And what I mean by that is that if you're in Wyoming and you're having sex with your goat and you get arrested for having sex with a goat, you can demand the common law, the case law in Wyoming that adjudicates you having sex with a goat. Now, in Wyoming, it's okay to have sex with goats. And that's why you'd want to use their common law there if you're screwing goats in Wyoming. Now, most people want their common law because of their weird state laws, like Wyoming and District of Columbia and 4 other states that allow you to sodomize an animal because of their common practices called common law. So common law, in essence, is only case law, and specifically case law to the particular state that you're claiming to have interests in. So there's no such thing as what you think is common law being God's law. Common law is only adjudication, or is only laws that you can read out to me, like what's a good case? Castle Rock versus Gonzalez. Well, that's common law, and it states that police officers don't have to protect you. It's not their duty. They're here to protect commerce. And also in that case, they talked about the word shall, and all shall means is by an officer's discretion, whatever he wants to do. That's what shall means in common law. So most people, when they say common law, don't even know what they're saying. And when you say common law trademark, common law patent, honestly, all that is prima facie evidence that you can open up in a court of law and evidence a time sequence of an instrument. It can be used as evidences, sure, but it gives you no patent right, no copyright right. It's only prima facie evidence on its face. So it means nothing is what I'm trying to say, except for a piece of evidences that you can enter into a court And because it's a sealed instrument, you can have it specially opened by a court to prove a timestamp was enveloped in there. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me.
Okay, good,
That,
good.
one of the things you were talking about with I think you mentioned the 3-1114. I just posted that in the group where that's how I do my documents when I'm doing them, is the handwritten terms prevail over both, and then the words prevail over
Absolutely.
numbers. So you spell out your
Absolutely.
dates.
Well, and here's why, is because if there's a question between what you wrote and what an attorney wrote, if you wrote everything in handwriting and they printed everything, who's going to win?
Handwriting, of course.
Duh. So why aren't we doing it?
I don't. I have legal pads. I learned that when I was a paralegal. Legal pads are your savior. You write it out.
Okay, well, that was a pretty good summation of common law. I mean, it was just like, it's kind of hard to condense all the common law into one, but I agree that it's case law and precedent.
Precedent and case law, which is the most common or the most up-to-date case law there is going to be common to your area.
Does that all fall under contract law?
Absolutely, because contract law has to, yes, absolutely.
You can research on the contracts. There's contracts that have been written on napkins, and they will always be binding and more binding than the typed document.
Every single time. It could be on a matchbook, and it's better than your 10-page, off the press, off the printer contract. Yep.
But if you turn it in and if it has a menu on the other side, like from a restaurant, aren't they going to say, what the heck is this?
Order something and read it.
That's a funny question.
If y'all think about it, that's why the signature has power. It's handwritten, right?
Well, that's why a bill of sale is more powerful than any legal certificate or legal title. I mean, if you got a bill of sale, if you bill of sale, if you got live witnesses sign a bill of sale that will actually come attest to that bill of sale, it's gold.
Absolutely, Robert Brown. Welcome. Absolutely.
So my suggestion is anybody that's done the UCC1 filings, which is great to have for your own securities for property, is you also just handwrite your information down and keep it. And better yet, do the non-UCC delivery back to yourself through the mail, sealed.
What is the legal pad, D? Like a legal paper size pad or something?
Yeah, old school. It's the old 8.5 by 14 yellow striped lines paper.
Buy them and put them all around you.
I keep lots of it.
You don't have to transcribe it. You can use that actually. I guess you could. I was just comparing.
I'm guessing that you don't have to be as organized as what. If you handwrite everything, it doesn't have to be as organized, it doesn't have to be as detailed, etc. Because it trumps.
Might be in shreds when they get it, but because Pastor mentioned that drafting, every state has a drafting manual. If you can learn the grammar they use to write the bills, you'll be writing letters. But then comparing that to the UCC and their trickery hierarchy, like you say, confused words. And can you say that again, what you were talking about, UCC 3-114, please?
3-114.
It deals with what? Something to do with the handwriting and how. Okay.
I posted it in the group chat, John.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking he said take notes, so I was, but the hierarchy is a bunch to do with words. So you're either doing it right that way or you're doing it right on a state by state way, but we're talking contract versus maybe I don't know, defensive postures. I guess I'm asking what your side of authority, what your opinion of the state drafting manuals bill that they use, the legislature to write the laws, their grammar style manuals. What's your opinion of those?
So that's a great question. So for useful common practice, right? For common practice, I will use the styles manual of the jurisdiction that I'm writing to. So the GPO has got a styles manual. You got me? The federal government has got a styles manual. And if you're in a particular state and they have a styles manual, use their style so you can communicate your value to them, because they have to be able to comprehend what you write. And if you write in their style, they're forced to comprehend it. And that's what I love about style, is you can force them, into comprehension. And that's why when you handwrite stuff, you're forcing them into comprehending it, because it outweighs any of the printed material they have before them. Just on face,
only thing is their style is not in handwriting, but everything else you follow.
No, you can use their style with your handwriting. Right?
I know. I know.
So, well, you can double down on styles. So, and I do that a lot, because sometimes you'll see me style a note to a state, but the style that I sent it in was styled in the GPO styles manual, the federal, because it's a play on words. I'm trying to show them that I know both styles. And I want them to hear one of them. So, any more questions, comments, guys?
What is
I can explain it one more time. I can explain to you common law one more time if you need it, because it's important to comprehend. Because people in these common law groups don't even know what common law is. They can't even tell you what I told you, and they can't even repeat it. So if you have any questions, please ask. I yield.
Yes. If
I
you
have
would,
a question, please.
Please repeat it one more time after you answer Jeff's question, please.
So there, in speaking of common law, I mean, I've heard a lot of reference to common law dictating like certain courts of record, like the deed of recorder's offices. Would that be accurate as well?
Again, correct. Common law would be, in your state, the laws that have been adjudicated through the highest state in the highest court in the state would be your closest common law. The next closest common law would be in United States Supreme Court, because that's common to all states.
And what is the style menu of equity?
Before you move off that, would that be a positive law, Eric?
Now, if you're on earlier this evening, we talked about what positive law is and what non-positive law is, and what they consider the United States Code as. And the United States Code is, like I said before, it's an ongoing conversation of law. And when they get restyled out of the United States Code, it becomes public law, and that's a whole nother thing, Bobby.
Okay, I wasn't on earlier, but would common law be more leaning toward positive law because it's more toward the settle end, like positive law is, than the negative?
Nope. Now I see where you're getting. So common law would be both in non-positive and positive law, because common law is still the talk of what should be done because of customs and usages in your area.
Okay, so it was absorbed in the contract law just because it's justifiable and it's still being so quote argued.
Correct.
Okay.
It's still being argued. There you go. I yield.
I have one question about a style menu. What is considered a style menu of equity?
So good question. So equity is a strange word because how I describe it, equity is what God gave you. Now, when you talk about courts of chancellery and the equity that they practice there, that's a whole nother issue. And that style would be explicit to the state with that equity court like Delaware. And so there would be, it's called rules of procedure. And it's for that particular equity court. Now, after saying that, I'm here to tell you that I'm not here to teach you about courts of chancellery equity. I'm here to teach you about the Holy Scriptures equity. And the Holy Scriptures equity allow you to bring equity in every footstep of your day via the method or the technology of a prayer. And that prayer, coupled with another technology called notice and another technology called repentance. Okay, because an instrument is no good without notice, so therefore you have to give them notice. Something that you want discharged will not be discharged unless it has been made whole, and the only way to make something whole is to repent. And so the prayer that I've provided for people is a way to pray yourself out of these problems that you've gotten yourself into, because a prayer is equitable. Because a prayer,
I'd like to see
there is
that.
no controversy.
If you could post that, that'd be good.
There's no controversy in a prayer, guys. There's nothing to be adjudicated with a prayer. I yield.
And if I can add that, it is because that prayer is putting forth what they call on that side of the bar religious adherency. And they tell you that they have religious adherency through their 97-280 or the Bible, King James Bible. So you've got the right to have some sort of spirituality if you don't want to adhere to the religious states of which they give you. I don't know how many thousand forms of religion you can pick within there, but if you want to stay out of there or go in there, you have a right to religious adherency also.
I almost need an ice cube. So, guys, here's the key: is that law that you just said, Bobby, is about. You say it's the year of the Bible. That's the title. It has everything about the Scriptures and not the Bible. There are two instruments you have to read. You have to read what the Senate did and what the presidents did.
Sure.
And I want you to comprehend. They divided the Bible and the Holy Scriptures in that law. The reason being, the law is already copywritten. The Bible is already copywritten, and that's why they split it up. If you pull it up, I'll show you in the language where they split up Holy Scriptures and Bible. Even though they called it the year of the Bible, it's about the Holy Scriptures because the Bible is copywritten.
So that way they wouldn't blaspheme, right?
Well, again, the word blasphemy is explicitly to act like a god. And so you're using it out of context, out of the original meaning of blasphemy. I yield.
I just posted the law if you want to show how it. I'm pretty sure that's the original resolution on nice paper.
Okay, let's take a look here. And we're in. Let me jump into the chat. You type for it.
Fearless Floyd Show latest post. The Word of God. Congress declares Bible the Word of God. Public Law 97-280, October the 4th, 1982. I think
Yeah.
it took effect in
So which
83.
one did you post? There's two of them. There's one from the
Mm-hmm.
Senate. Yeah, and okay, so yeah, so this isn't a GPO. We need a GPO copy.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a GPO certified copy to show you the difference, because right here the style's not perfect. This is horrible. This is a horrible way to portray.
To portray it? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, this is a gimmick. This is to sell you
it
on
is
it.
kind of to sell you on it. Huh.
Yeah, because you won't comprehend until you read both. There's two of them.
I feel
Yeah,
like I
there's
was
one.
missing something. Yeah, it seemed like something was
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah. So I'll try to look at it and give me 1 second and I'll try to post them.
And can I ask a question about where this prayer can be placed? Is that at the county, the state, the Supreme Court of the state, or the Supreme Court level?
This is a great question, guys, and this is where most people fail in the prayer, is in putting it to use. Now, this prayer is amazing because you can use it as an endorsement. And when you read the prayer, you'll realize that it was written to discharge any debt instrument. It has every key word in the banking book in this prayer to discharge any of their instruments. So one of the ways that you can use it is to, if they force a charge to your hand, then force an endorsement to the charge. And they actually call it affix it. And to affix it means to make it an allonge. AOLONGE, allonge.
On the launch to the charge, like the back page or something.
Nope. An allonge is specifically an endorsement that is too large for the surface area. Make sense? So if someone handed you guys a business card, you could endorse it no matter if it was small, because you could affix an allonge to that business card with an endorsement. Okay. What other question do you have?
So, as from what I'm hearing, like if you have a debt instrument that needs to be discharged or whatever, you could do from left to right. Would you just write in that public law, or would you have to write in the whole verbiage?
Can I ask something real quick? And we're talking about this. When you're doing this prayer, Robert Fox talked a lot about this. I'm assuming that you're doing this as a man, and what I'm showing is as a man, you're better off really not even bringing their codes and statutes in, because it just puts some jurisdiction back over top of you. And I was shown common law was never written down. And that's why I'm kind of wondering about all of this. As what status are we claiming? Because I know the prayer, that would be of a man talking to the Father, and government's got nowhere business of being in between. And that's where this is on the head now. Somehow they feel that they're in between you and the Creator. Government was created by man to control your property, not govern you. And that's why I'm wondering, like the codes and statutes and everything, everybody's talking about stuff. That's exactly what I'm trying to get away from. And I really like the prayer thing. I've heard of people traveling with Bibles. Robert Fox made his own passport, and it's doable. And I think you're really onto something with the prayer thing too.
Well, that's
The other
your
part
expression of the
is like
trust,
when
guys.
you go to
So
court.
listen to me. The prayer is your Bible. The prayer is the expression of
Okay.
your trust. And the Bible is there, the Holy
Okay.
Scriptures is there to express to you what your rights are if you can see them. And only people that have the eyes to see
Okay.
are able to see these things. And I'm able to see them. That's why I write these things, because I see them.
Awesome. Right. The other thing I was going to say, just like when you go, everybody thinks you're going to go to court and you start doing these codes and your complaint and all that. I'm taking a course right now and I'm still learning, but we don't come with complaints. We come as a man. And in fact, we have a claim, not a complaint, against the man who sometimes acts as the police officer, who sometimes acts as the judge. You're suing the man. You're making a claim against the man. In the word, your claim is against the man, not the corporate fiction. And that's where they lose all immunity. They lose all power, and you're their worst and all that. And I still got a ways to go, brother. You definitely have brought out some solid stuff I'd like to talk to you more about, but let me yield, and I hate to take you clear off track. I appreciate what you're saying, but I had to ask, what status is this coming from? And I'll try to find the train of thought.
So
What
one of the things
status
that I
is this
mentioned,
coming from? And
one of the things
that,
I mentioned to people is that I never get to me. I don't have to tell you who I am, because if you interface me, you're the one that has to tell me who you are. So you never get to who I am in my processes. I never have to tell them who I am, because the first thing out of the chute I demand is that they identify themselves. And until they do that, I never identify myself. Ever.
How does the prayer come into that? You're standing under that prayer?
Damn straight. That's it. I'm standing on a prayer. That's it. With my Creator. And I am governed, so you don't have to govern me. Know that I am governed by God. That's it. You have to bring equity. You got to show it.
So you claim you state your law right up front. Cite your
Well,
authority.
UCC 1-308 allows you to reserve your rights. The UCC 1-103 allows you to claim a law. And in UCC 1-3, it also gives you pirate law, but on top of pirate law, you also get equity, because that's what the Constitution guarantees, is law and equity. And so the pirates have to guarantee the same law and equity, but they guarantee the merchant mariner's law, the law merchant. Yeah. And so with the combination of the expression of reservation of rights and the expression of asserting your equity, right? Asserting your venue in equity. Because you get to name your law forum. You get to. And if you name it common law, you can, but you will die by the sword of common law.
it's a bad choice.
It's dumb.
Very bad choice. Equity's hands down. Matter of fact,
down.
Dean Clifford literally said, hey, picture this way. It's an MMA fight, and the common law is a style of fighting that loses every effing time.
Yeah, every time. Yep. Yeah, you ready to sign up for that? Because I tell them, I tell these lawmen, bring your law, because I am going to perfect it with equity. Because that's what equity is here to do, is perfect your law.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The jurisdictor, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but equity in the law kind of, that's the 1800s. When equity and the law conflict, equity will prevail. And it's, I'd have to go back and look it up, but I think that's like from the 1800s. It was actually put in with equity.
Well, no, this goes back to the 1400s. This goes back to to the 10th century, equity
Yeah.
tracks back to where the king was a
Yeah.
king, and he didn't have enough hours in the day to adjudicate his kingdom. So he gave it to
That's further
chancellors.
back than I thought. Exactly.
Yeah, so he
Yep.
gave it to chancellors because he was too damn busy. Because he's the king. Yeah. Guys, if we
Jeez, I
keep
wish I
speaking the
could
truth,
remember that. I want to say.
if we keep speaking the truth, we're going to win, man. And we don't have the process yet. We don't. I don't know anybody who's got the perfect cookie cutter process. But I'll tell you right now, the closest thing
It's
to
not.
it is this prayer. Because anybody can pick up a prayer.
I believe you.
Anybody.
Well, the thing about the prayer too, it's going back to your claim. That's why, like I said, it's who you're coming as. Because what I've learned in this course is you come as a man, and it's really ironic that my original first teachings, when I got in trouble, I listened to this guy. I said, "Listen, don't let them call you anything but a man. You don't want to be called anything but a man." I didn't understand why, and later on, I found out what solid advice that is, and just that's taking away all authority from them, because that's the problem. Is they under the 14th Amendment and all that stuff, and anybody that's dumb enough to call them our leaders, they're not your leaders, man. They're your servant. And I know you know this. I'm just saying.
Well, they're not even my
the
servant
deal
because
with the
it's not my
prayer
government.
coming in there. That's right. Yeah.
That's the
Well,
key.
there you go. What I was
That's the
saying though, is
key.
by you bringing the prayer, by you bringing the prayer, you're my one friend talks about invoking the angels and the Father.
Yep. I'm invoking through
Is
the
what he talks
expression.
about.
Yes. Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to feel for it.
Yeah, and I'm getting my feet wet with it, and that's what I'm saying. I sent you a message. It says, "Hey, it's Al. I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about some of this stuff, because I
Yeah.
know you're on point. And like I said,
Yeah,
I
and I
haven't
just
finished
sent you
this
the
course
prayer.
up, so I don't want to."
I
Oh,
just
thank
sent
you,
you
sir.
the latest
Appreciate
prayer
that.
I
I'm
wrote.
not supposed to call you sir.
Yeah, I just sent you the latest
Thank you,
prayer I
man.
wrote. So yeah, and I'll put it
Very,
in
very good.
the
I will definitely look at it.
yeah, and I'll put it in the Floyd chat also, guys. Give me just a second.
Awesome.
I also
This is
found
the
that
real
GPO,
deal.
but I don't know if it's both parts. It's in the PDF there in the post.
Say that one more time, brother.
It's two parts, and we have to find the GPO. So I found the GPO or a PDF on the one part of the law, but you said you needed both to understand it. Maybe it
Yep.
doesn't
So
have two pieces. Is that the one? Is a PDF? If that's not all of it, just let us know, because you said
yeah, so we want the
that
one from the
people
Senate where
get
the
there's
Senate
a half dozen.
yeah, where the Senate is asking the
Or it's
president
President
for
Reagan, and then the Senate, or the joint House and Senate resolution, whatever it was, Senate.
Yeah. So we need all of them, and there might actually be 3, but there's for sure 2. Oh, here we go. All right, I'm sending you guys the latest prayer. All right, there you go. And then let me take a look at this statute 96. Yeah, so this is the public law. This is the SJ Res. So joint resolution. Yep. So now we need a proclamation from the president. There's a
The other half,
proclamation
okay.
from the
Is that what
president.
like Public Law 107-293 or something? Or
So just go into
reaffirm reference to one nation under God in the Pledge of Allegiance. No, okay, I'll look for that.
Search for the year of the Bible, proclamation of the president, space PDF. Always put PDF after your search terms if you're looking for something smart.